On a picture-perfect Friday at the end of May in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Game 2 of this regional on day 1 of the NCAA tournament. Heels and Sharks coming up. Jason DeCaro is from Long Island, from the North Shore, Northport, New York. 6'5" right-hander who is second team All-ACC with this 3.8 ERA. And you can argue that he's been the best freshman pitcher in the country.
I mean, I don't fault you for thinking that, because he has been outstanding this whole entire season. 5-1 with that 3.80 ERA. He has a nice four-pitch mix with that fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. He's a young arm. He basically pitched his whole entire season being 17 years old. It is outstanding to see a kid that young come out and dominate a really good ACC this year.
Could be a first rounder in 2 years, and he'll face this lineup for Long Island University out of the Northeast Conference. Their head coach, Dan Perillo's there on the right. In his 8th season, led this group to 33 wins. They went 24-9 in the regular season in the Northeast Conference, won the league championship with the second most wins in program history. And here we go. It's a team that was in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, and it is a clash of light blue. Carolina blue against the baby blue of Long Island University. Seth Surratt is the leadoff man, and he takes 95 for strike one, and away we go. DeCaro's got as much upside, the coaching staff says, as really any arm who's come through Chapel Hill. 93, and he's ahead of the 5th-year senior Surratt. Now thinking 2. Surratt was the conference tournament MVP. And Dan Perillo said to us, with him in the box, we're going to put our best foot forward right from the jump against the 1-seed Heels. It's pulled on a line to right. Anthony D'Onofrio makes the catch. We're off and running. Well, in terms of defensive outfield, this very well might be the best one in the entire country. With Honeycutt, you mentioned those 2 ACC Defensive Player of the Year nods, and D'Onofrio, who would be a center fielder for most teams in the country.
Really good speed out there in the outfield for North Carolina.
Brings up the shortstop, Ben Ferenzi from Australia. He's from Melbourne, second team All-Conference in his first year with LIU. After a couple of years of junior college in Arizona. Launches this one in the air to center. And Vance Honeycutt backs up. A couple of fly ball outs to start for DeCaro.
Yeah, for DeCaro, I mean, you could just see what he's doing right now. And I actually like when pitchers do that. They just go out there and say, here's my fastball, and that's what I'm going to show you. And if you are a pitcher, especially a young guy, and you're able to get through that lineup that first time without showing any of your secondary pitches, that is going to help you get deep into this ballgame.
Heaters to start for DeCaro, who now gets Jake Mastillo, left fielder in the 3-hole. Looks at 94, just off the edge. Mastillo, a Pennsylvania native who was first team All-Conference, team leading 16 home runs. Led the league in RBIs. That's a strike, and it's 1-1 on Mastillo. We were talking with Jason DeCaro this week. He told us the text started flowing in immediately from this LIU team because he's got some buddies on this roster. A bunch of guys he's familiar with, has played with in the past. And so right when the selection show happened on Monday afternoon, they were all texting back and forth. Cut and a miss, 2-2, good slider.
That's where DeCaro is just so good. He's able to utilize that fastball, staying really on the outside portion of the plate, and then he'll just drop in that slider.
2-2. Mastillo lays off. You mentioned 4-pitch mix for DeCaro. Fastball, which we've seen up to 95. He told us that's my favorite pitch. I love punching out a dude on a fastball. See what he does 3-2 against Mastillo. Payoff. Gas fouled back at 95 again. Mastillo, meanwhile, one of the leaders on this team. We enjoyed talking to him as well. Met him down at the cages there in BP.
Just a good kid.
3-2. Misses inside, a backup breaking ball. And Jake Mastillo earns a 2-out walk here in the first against DeCaro.
Well, that was close. I mean, that was that was a backup breaking ball. And it looked like it got a lot of the play, but good job by Mastillo there just to not chase it, get himself on base.
So it brings up the cleanup man, the DH Carlton Harper, fifth-year senior, 24-year-old, originally from Canton, Michigan. It's his third year as a regular. Dan Perillo was saying to us, this guy was on pace to have maybe a Hall of Fame type career, he said, at LIU. And is really coming on strong down the stretch, even though the numbers are down a bit this year. 2-0 from DeCaro.
If you're LIU, this is exactly what you want to do with DeCaro on the mound. You want to make him work. He started off this game, he was basically 6 pitches through 2 guys. And now you kind of look up and saying, okay, now you're making him throw some pitches. You're making it a little bit tougher on him.
Dan Perillo said to us in no uncertain terms, we believe we can win. This is a team that went to Miami second weekend of the regular season, led the first game, won the second game. And again, we told you, was in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. And a lot of these guys like Harper were on that team. They're coming here confident. 4-pitch walk, and it's back-to-back 2-out walks issued by DeCaro here in the first inning.
Yeah, and that's something you really do not see out of DeCaro. 34 walks on the season and 73 in the third innings pitch coming into this ball game. He's usually a guy that just goes right after. We saw it in the first 2 guys really attacking the zone, getting strike 1, strike 2. But you start to walk guys, you guys start to get guys on base. All of a sudden, a little bloop and a blast, and you're hurt.
That's a guy with a lot of blasts in the 5th-year senior first baseman, J.C. Navarro, went first pitch hunting, popped up toward first, and Parks Harbor ends the inning. The walks don't harm Jason DeCaro, and the heels bat for the first time when we come back. Long Island University and North Carolina headed to the bottom of the first inning. The LIU Sharks are turning to their veteran number 1, Garrett Yon. First team all-conference, guy who was their opening day starter. Came back on short rest in the conference tournament, and no surprise he's got the ball in game 1.
No surprise at all. Pitching in 90 1/3 innings, 104 strikeouts. He's a 4-pitch mix. Has a fastball, a curveball, a changeup. Those are 3 of his prominent pitches. He has been working on a slider for a pitch to go away from the righties into a lefty. He's a crafty vet. He's going to mix and match his pitches. He's not really that hard of a thrower. He's going to be somewhere in that mid to upper 80s to start off. Then he'll settle into that middle part of that 80 range.
He faces a UNC lineup led by ACC Coach of the Year Scott Forbes. 10th best in the country in runs per game with 105 home runs. That's top 25 in the country and approaching the school record. Vance Honeycutt at the top. Takes up high, ball 1, and away we go in the home first.
And when you look at the way that Jan delivers the baseball, really over the top, coming down at you, that ball is actually going to kind of fade in towards that righty because of where he releases it.
Inside there for a strike from Jan. But Dan Perillo said to us this week, Garrett Jan's been more than I could ever ask for. And he said there is no stage too big for their big right-hander. On the ground left side at the shortstop, Ben Ferenzi. High throw, 1 away to start the bottom of the first. Ferenzi is held down short. Navarro made the play over at first. Jake Pippersick is in center. They dealt with an injury to Max Sampson there early on this season. And Jack Power was not expected to be the starting catcher, but he has stepped up behind the plate for the Sharks. Brings up Casey Cook. Redshirt sophomore left fielder. Was first team all ACC, and he's got a shift beating bunt to
Mike, talk about a guy who has 18 home runs and says, you want to play shift on me, I'm going to go ahead and just take this nice bunt down the third base line. And I guarantee you this, LIU is saying, go ahead, take that one all day.
So Cook's on in front of Parks Harbor. First baseman, Georgia transfer in the 3-hole. Second team all-conference, second on the team in OPS with 20 home runs. Scott Forbes was telling us this week that in the transfer process, it was in their third phone call when Scott Forbes learned something very important to Parks Harbor. That Parks' girlfriend goes to North Carolina. And Scott Forbes joked with us, man, I wish I would have known that earlier in the recruiting process. I could have lowered his scholarship money.
You knew he was going to come. Girlfriend's here, gotta go.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Long hold from Garrett Jan and a 1-1. On the ground to third, and Noah Sorensen. Jared Wade can't get it there in time. 2 gone. Well, we mentioned how Garrett Jan really stepped up for this LIU team in the conference tournament. Thursday against Wagner, 6 innings, 2 runs, just 1 of them earned. And then 3 days later, Saturday, comes back out, rather 2 days later. 1 day rest, goes 4 2/3 against Sacred Heart. This is Anthony D'Onofrio, cleanup man at right fielder. Garrett told us the exact text message that he sent to his head coach to let him know that he was ready. He was definitely taking that baseball for him. I'm good to start whatever game you want tomorrow. D'Onofrio floats this one into center. Pippersick got a late break on it, and it drops down. 2-out single from Anthony D'Onofrio, and 2 aboard with 2 outs for Carolina here in the first.
Well, we saw LIU do this in their top half of that first inning, and UNC is doing the same thing. This ball just right off the end of the bat for D'Onofrio, just shoots it into center field, and all of a sudden, Alberto Ozuna's coming up with first and second and 2 outs.
14 home runs for the DH in the 5 spot. Fouls away the heater. Ozuna for a while this year was having the best season of his career. Still excellent numbers in OPS around 970 you see. But he is 4 for his last 29, the last 7 games, going back to the second to last weekend of the regular season. Trying to get hot here. Floats this one toward right. That is trouble, and it drops in front of Surratt. Harbor scores, and the Heels strike first.
I'll tell you this, I feel like Ozuna had the right process going up there, and it's just let that ball travel and try to just stay inside. That ball beats him a little bit as he's able to just power it out to right field. That's a muscle swing, but it ends up falling in RBI, a big 2-out RBI for UNC.
And now they're at the corners for Luke Stevenson. Now, is that the right process in any case, or specifically because of what you see from Jan?
Yeah, it's what I see from Jan. Because of the way that he's throwing that baseball, that ball's going to kind of come in. But then he likes to throw those secondary pitches. So you want to think right center field against him so you can stay on the off speed.
Ooh, there's the great changeup, even left up. Still a good one from Jan.
And when you look at, Vance Honeycutt and Parks Harbor, both guys, what do? Kind of roll over, getting out in front on those pitches. So you want to let those pitches travel to you.
Ball and a strike on the stud freshman catcher. 3rd-team All-ACC. Saw the numbers for Luke Stevenson. OPS at 1,000. 13 home runs. And the starter behind the plate from Jump Street.
And when you kind of look at these numbers, you got to remember, he was hitting 8th basically the whole entire season.
2-1. A lot of responsibility for Luke Stevenson, who will be draft eligible next year as a sophomore. You're already kind of counting down the time you've got left with him. Scott Forbes said to us earlier this year, I think he's going to be a first-round pick. He's got 2 aboard with a run in. This is vaulted high in the air to right center. Pippersick goes back and has room to end the inning. The park holds Luke Stevenson, but the Heels grab the game's first run against LIU in the first. Packed house, awesome night at Boshemer Stadium as we go to the second on day 1 of the regionals. With Jason DeCaro on the mound for the number 4 national seed. We told you, he only turned 18 in the middle of April, so his first 9 starts were as a 17-year-old after reclassifying in high school, generating a lot of draft buzz as well. Scott Forbes has said he might have been a first-rounder, but Jason DeCaro stuck with it, came here to Chapel Hill.
Turned down some good money apparently to come over here to Chapel Hill, and I love that, and I'll say it. I wish that other players would do that too. Forget about the draft when you're in high school. Go to college, develop your skills there, learn how to work out, learn how to live away from the family. So when you have to go to pro ball, like a lot of these guys will, it makes it a lot easier for you.
He's got 6, 7, and 8, starting with Jack Power for LIU, who gets hit by a breaking ball on the right foot and gets aboard. So 2 walks and a hit batter from DeCaro. We were talking to DeCaro and asked him, do you know of anyone younger than you've come across here in college baseball? And he said he couldn't think of anyone. But the only one he has heard of is in college hockey. Macklin Celebrini, who's going to be the number 1 overall pick. He said that guy, a couple months younger than him. That's it. Powers aboard. Here's the center fielder, Jake Pippersick, who drops down a bunt, but foul. Pippersick from Bradenton, Florida. Spent 4 years at the Division III level, St. Elizabeth University in New Jersey. 2-time first team all-conference there. Long hold from DeCaro. Snap one off to first, and that was close on Jack Power.
That's just really fast feed. And for Parks Harbor, if he lets that ball travel and he actually catches it on the base and puts it straight down, you might get him. But because of that reach, give enough time.
So as a first baseman, go to get it or let it come?
No, you let it come. As a first, if you know that you're going to get the out or there's going to be very close, you let that ball come. And you let it come as far as you possibly can. It's harder, of course, for a righty to do it because you got to almost play it backhand to bring it straight down. But you want to let that ball travel because you don't want to go get it because then you have to bring that glove back.
That's up and in on Pippersick. Pippersick, we told you, stepped in and filled in admirably in center field because Max Sampson got hurt the first game of the season. For a second year in a row, LIU lost Sampson to injury. Driven in the air toward right center, and Anthony D'Onofrio's got it for the first down. So you're talking about an LIU team that has overcome injuries in center and behind the plate and still made it here to the postseason in the NCAA tournament.
It's a team with a lot of fight. And you're going to see them again today. They're going to be out there. They're going to fight. I would like to see them get guys in motion and start putting a little bit of pressure on this UNC defense. Putting a little bit of pressure on DeCaro, too. Hit and runs work, straight steals, delayed steals.
Well, here's the UConn transfer, Noah Sorensen, third baseman in the 8th spot. And we're talking with Dan Perillo, and he said to us, if you look at our numbers, you might wonder how'd they get here. He said the numbers aren't sexy, but we never think we're out of it. You name it, we've been through it this year. Bouncing ball left side, and Gavin Gallaher couldn't get it over to second. So 2 aboard with just the 1 out still here in the second.
DeCaro gets what he wants. He gets that ground ball. Gallaher ranges out to go get it. and on the transfer just can't come up with that baseball. Ball gets away from him, and all of a sudden LIU has a couple guys on base again. Bottom of the lineup here with Wade coming up.
So it's an error on Gallaher, the freshman, and it is Jared Wade in the 9th spot, the second baseman. First pitch swinging, back at Gallaher, to the bag, throw on the run, the pick, not in time. They say that Parks Harbor's off the bag over there, and you wonder if Carolina might want another look at this.
Boy, that was very close. I thought that foot stayed on. I thought this was a double play. I do like how they're coming together right away.
Scott Forbes wants confirmation of if the call is that Parks Harbor was off the bag.
And they came right away to say, I don't know about this one. Let's go ahead and check. If you're Gallaher, though, that's exactly what you want. You just finished making an error. Get that ball right back to me. Gets the ground ball, steps on third, fires over. Great job by Parks Harbor over there at first base, too, to pick this ball. So he plays it right. He wants to get that big hop, comes up, he steps back, then comes to the base, fires over to first. Boy, that's a tough angle to look at. I don't see that foot being off first base at all. Now the question is going to be, is it definitive that the ball was inside the interior of the glove before that foot hit? And yes, it is.
The other question is this, though. Can you tell definitively that the foot is on the bag? Because the call on the field is that he was off the bag.
And in every single one of these, you can. And it's tough, too, because you're talking about a white cleat with a white base. And there's not that angle right up the line to see if there's any space.
Try this look again.
I mean, even there, you're getting that back angle. Is that foot on? To me, I feel like that foot never moves. And that's the only reason why I would say it is on.
I do think you can see his foot moving back at one point throughout it. That he is trying to push his foot right there, back to the bag. But was it off the bag?
But is it toe there and then he brings, because it could be the toe and you're just bringing that foot back. If they called it on the field that his foot was off the base, there's been nothing definitive to tell us that his foot was either on the base or off the base. And because of that, I don't know if you can change the ruling because none of the angles really show me that that foot was on.
And they aren't looking at the same angles we are, so safe and the call stands. You see the reaction of 3 letters from Scott Forbes, and it's probably why.
Well, here's the thing, too. Right, Forbes, where he's sitting, he's right up the line so he can see whether that foot was on or off. Well, angles that we got, definitively, you don't know. You don't know if that foot was off the whole entire time, and then, at the end, did that foot come back? And really, it wasn't confirmed. It just stands.
So one of the 2 challenges used for North Carolina, and back to the top, for Seth Surratt, who will make you see some pitches. So we'll see if this taxes Jason DeCaro in any appreciable way after having to extend this second inning. Surratt lined out to right field his first time. With 2 aboard. Couldn't hold up. We told you Seth Surratt, NEC tournament MVP, 7 for 20 with 6 walks and 6 stolen bags as well. Jason DeCaro ready with an 0-2.
Yeah, he also scored 9 runs, had 5 RBIs in that tournament. He was hot. If you're LIU, this is the guy you want up there right now.
5th-year guy, leader for this team, having the best season of his career. Outside. Seth Surratt was the guy who, when this team lost on Friday in the conference tournament, started the phrase created by Kevin Millar by 2004 Red Sox standards, "Don't let us win one." That was the rallying cry for this team in the league tourney. 2-2. Surrett rolls it right side at Parks Harbor. Flips. DeCaro's out of dodge. Leads 2. The freshman looks calm. Inning and a half in Chapel Hill. Heels by 1. Day 1, game 2 in the Chapel Hill Regional, with the winner of this one moving on to get LSU tomorrow night at 5 o'clock Eastern. After LSU got a walk-off home run from Monster Milam, his second of the day, one from each side of the plate.
Talking about 4 solo home runs in that game for LSU. To beat a very good Wofford team, I mean, they were playing really well.
Had the lead, and the only time LSU led was winning it on that swing. Garrett Yon pumps ball 1 to Gavin Gallaher, freshman with a great bat, third baseman, leading off 7, 8, and 9 for the Heels. Roller to short, and Ben Ferenzi bobbles, not in time. Gallaher reaches on an error by Ben Ferenzi at short. Let's see if LIU ponders this on a close play at first. Looks like Dan Perillo does want a challenge.
Well, I think it was Navarro who told him, hey, check that. He did it once, they didn't move, and he looked at him again and said, hey, check that. And usually as a first baseman, you can feel that ball hitting your glove, and you can feel the foot hitting the base.
So you're getting your money's worth. A video review early on. Let's see.
Well, that's going to be a tough angle.
Hard to tell.
This would be a better angle here. Yeah,
I think he's out.
I think he's out.
As long as the foot was on the base, which it certainly appears to be.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely. So the ball doesn't have to be in the back of the glove; it just has to be in the interior, and that's where I was telling you, first baseman, you can feel those hits. You can feel the hit of the ball, and you can feel the bag being hit.
So Ferenzi will likely be happy to get bailed out on that. Good recovery by him in a pressure-packed spot, big stage, big crowd, and didn't hurry himself too much.
Ferenzi right away, as soon as he kind of bobbled, that ball was well struck. It was a line drive, one hopper to him. Ball just kind of ate him up a little bit. But just like you said, it was that no panic. Let me go get it. Hard throw over to first.
So here's the bobble. And then Ferenzi, the recovery on a bang-bang play at first.
Yeah, just right off the heel, picks it up, and then shows off that strong arm, gets across that infield.
So we think it'll be an out for Garrett Yon here to start the bottom of the second, after he gave up a bunt single, a bloop to D'Onofrio in the first, and then Alberto Osuna stayed back and dropped one into right later on that inning. Dan Perillo trusting his first baseman, J.C. Navarro. And he's correct on the challenge, so there's one away, bases empty for the bottom of the Carolina order.
Navarro just bought himself an extra replay over there.
So he can do it again?
You get it right. The coach is going to say, all right, I'm with you on this one.
It's not make it, take it for the coaches. You don't keep the challenge. Or I should say, you do retain it if you're successful. And the same is true of J.C. Navarro. Here's Alex Madera. Fouled away. Madera, the transfer who has stepped in, a veteran at the bottom of the lineup. They like in front of Colby Wilkerson. Facing Yon. Grew up in small town Southern California. Told us this week he had to start looking around at the end of high school for junior colleges. Ended up at the one across the street, Moore Park College. Ended up tearing his labrum there 2 weeks into his freshman season. Thankfully didn't need surgery. Stuck around there, got healthy. The catcher power got clipped there. Goes off to summer ball, and his pitching coach from junior college called in the middle of a summer ball game down in Florida to say he was taking a D2 head coaching job in Michigan. So Garrett Yon walks back into the dugout and says, anyone need a pitcher? To his summer ball team. And the LIU catcher was on that team, Connor Price. He said, yeah, we could use one at LIU. Made a few calls, and that's how Garrett Jan is here. Up and away, 2-2.
It's a good way to promote yourself. Go out to summer ball. You got a whole bunch of different colleges there. Hey, anybody want a starting pitcher?
Anyone?
Anyone. Any takers?
Bueller. 2-2. Darrett strokes this one to left at Mastillo for out number 2. NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more info, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. So to pay it off, Garrett Jan said that he has bought Connor Price, the catcher, a few steak dinners for helping him out.
Just a few.
Here's Colby Wilkerson, shortstop in the 9th spot. Ball 1 to start at 89. Second-year starter in Wilkerson.
I did the same thing. I said, hey, ESPN, you need a play-by-play guy? I got one for you. Buddy Mike Monaco.
Thank you.
That's why I got those steak dinners from you.
10% coming your way. Good change. So here he is, Garrett Jan. He's made a lot of starts through the years. None bigger than this one against the number 4 team in the country. One and 2 on Wilkerson. So Jan's 3rd year with Long Island University. 36th career start for him. Number 2 starter last year. Number 1 this year. 2 outs, bases empty. The 1-2. Haven't seen a ton of changeups so far. First time through, feels like something the second time through. Maybe we get more.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing that we talked about with DeCaro. Jan's doing the same. Like, I'm not going to show you my best pitch yet because I want to get through that second time and maybe even that third. And if you're able to get away with just throwing that fastball and throwing that slider or the curveball, you're going to be able to do it.
That was a change there. 2-2.
It's not that typical changeup either, where you'll see that real good downward angle. His almost kind of rides sideways and a little up.
Says it's always been his bread and butter. Pull, foul, another changeup, and that was left up.
Those are the ones you got to look for. But the problem, too, that we're seeing this UNC very aggressive, especially pull side right now. And if you have a good changeup to a very aggressive team, you're going to be able to get them to roll over, especially on pitches that they can hammer.
2-2 on the senior from Oxford, North Carolina. Wilkerson runs it full.
I really like the way that Jan's throwing right now because he keeps kind of mixing in fastballs up. He'll throw that breaking ball down. He'll throw that changeup up and away. And the last thing that you want to do if you're Jan is walk Wilkerson with that guy right there, Vance Honeycutt, coming up.
3-2. Ground ball up the middle, backhand stab, and Jared Wade makes a fine play to end the inning. 1-2-3 in the end in the second for Garrett Jan here in Chapel Hill. The 1-0 game in the winners bracket here in this regional in Chapel Hill. Ben Ferenzi gets hit by a Jason DeCaro pitch. The leadoff man is on for LIU. Winner of this one gets the Tigers, the reigning national champions, who are playing like it tomorrow night.
Well, with DeCaro on the mound, that's the second inning in a row that the leadoff hitter gets on via hit by pitch. No hits right now for this LIU team, but they've been filling up the bases, getting guys in scoring position every single inning.
Here's Jake Mastillo, walked in the first, 3-hole hitter. Takes down. Great year for Mastillo with the bat, and his second year at LIU after transferring in from D2 Lock Haven University, where he spent 3 years and was an all-conference catcher. 2-0. He was telling us that when he hit the portal, he made it very clear that he knows he's better with the bat. So was open to going away from catching, finding a way he could make an impact, in particular offensively. And he has. This LIU team, veteran in the tournament 2 years ago for a program that's been one of the heavyweights in the Northeast Conference. 2-0. 3-0.
You got to be careful too. Costello, he set a program record for home runs in a season, and he also set a record for RBIs in a season. This guy knows how to hit the long ball. And if you're Carroll, you don't want to just kind of throw here. Here's a fastball right down the middle. This game can change 2-1 real quick.
Fastball misses. And a fifth free pass from Jason DeCaro. It's all right, there's pretty good history for the Sharks. Group that went there 2 years ago, like we said. Now, you got to stick with us on this, but this has been the union of what previously was two different campuses of Long Island University, one in Brooklyn and one in Brookville on the North Shore of Long Island. Dan Perillo was leading the D1 group that was the Brooklyn campus. The campuses merged in 2019. And so all told, a third tournament appearance for what is now known as the Sharks since 2018. And Dan Perillo's been there for 8 years, and they'd never won a conference championship before him, and now they're mainstays.
He's done a wonderful job kind of getting everybody to buy into his process. Very good team, knows how to play the game of baseball.
Played at LIU himself. Class of 2008, he's among the all-time leaders in stolen bases. Brian Gaines, pitching coach, paid a visit to the 18-year-old Jason DeCaro. Climbs back atop with a deep breath here at the Bosch. This is the cleanup man, Carlton Harper. Walked his first time in the first inning. Big cut through the change. Harper last year, first team all-conference in the NEC. We told you he's coming up with big hits recently. Two changeups to start from DeCaro, trusting that maybe above all else.
Right now he's able to spot that pitch, which is why he keeps throwing it. Good arm action too on that changeup, 83 miles an hour.
Jason was telling us this week that his changeup has really taken a step forward. He was real proud of the fact that for the first time in the ACC tournament, he threw his first right-on-right changeup all season. We said, how'd it go? He said, I got a strikeout on it. So he's feeling good with that pitch at this time of the year. 0-2. Fastball strikes out Harper, and there's one away. So change 94 by you.
I mean, that's just a tough AP if you're Harper. You're looking for 93, 94. You get two changeups. Then you start to think, fine, he's going to throw me another one. And then here's 94 up in the zone.
So still two aboard and one away for the five-hitter JC Navarro, Arizona native. Slider up. Navarro had one of the big swings in the conference tournament Saturday against Merrimack. A grand slam in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 7-run 8th inning to power the Sharks to an 11-9 win. A couple big comebacks for LIU in the conference tournament. They had been down 6-2 in that game to Merrimack into the bottom of the 7th. We mentioned Sunday in the title game. We showed you the 7-run 9th inning that they had against Sacred Heart. Driven in the air to right field and struck well. D'Onofrio's back at the wall, and it's gone! JC Navarro goes up, and LIU's got the lead.
Boy, J.C. Navarro comes up huge for the 16th home run of the season. Boy, he knew it. Backside homer. That's what happens here. They finally were able to come through on those free passes.
And with their first and so far only hit of the game, they make DeCaro pay.
Well, DeCaro's given out some free passes in every single inning, and they were finally able to make them pay here.
Jack Power lifts this one to center at Vance Honeycutt for out number 2. You know, we were talking about this team and how they came here confident. This is a group that went down to Miami, like we said, second weekend of the regular season, and beat a really proud Canes program. We're talking with Jake Mastillo, and he told us that was the turning point. Said they realized that's just another uniform. It's the same white ball. And he said just because a team has a fancier facility or set of uniforms doesn't change the fact it's baseball and anything can happen.
It's the mindset. Whenever you're going into a ball game, it doesn't matter who you're facing. Everybody has cleats, everybody has pants. You're going out there and you're playing baseball.
1-1 on Jake Pippersick out of the 7th spot.
And really, when you look at this LIU team, every single inning they've had chances. They weren't able to connect. They finally were able to get the right guy up in J.C. Navarro, and he delivered a huge homer.
On a line to center at Honeycutt, heading over. If not for Jake Mastillo, J.C. Navarro would have the program record in a season for home runs. He's got one anyway here in the NCAA tournament. Dan Perillo said to us, I know UNC is a good team, but we feel like we belong and deserve to be here. And J.C. Navarro has backed that up with an Oppo 3-run shot that has LIU up on the number 4 national seed here in the 3rd. Here's Vance Honeycutt in the 50-70 club. 59 home runs, 76 stolen bases for the future and likely first-round pick.
He was the first guy ever in a UNC program to go 20-20. 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in a season. And then he did it again this year. So he's the first one in program history to do it twice.
Kylie McDaniels got him 26th on his MLB draft rankings. Grounded to short his first time. There's a strike from Garrett Young.
And really, he would be a lot higher, but the swing and miss is what kind of is lowering him in that top ring, because if there was no swing and miss, he's a top 5 pick.
Good. That's something that Scott Forbes always kind of rolls his eyes at too.
Yeah, he does.
Because he says, look, this guy gets picked apart. And he thinks that Vance Honeycutt, and has said this to us, is the best player in the country. All around type guys you detailed off the top. 3-1.
I mean, he could just do it all. Defensively, he can save a ball game. Offensively, he has the power to be hitting home runs. And then that's the thing, is when you look at a guy like Vance Honeycutt, he's hitting you 22 home runs. And then, yeah, he strikes out 70 times, but the power's there. The average is still there.
Pops this one up in foul ground, and no room for Noah Sorensen.
And that's the thing. When you look at guys, let's say in the big leagues, guys who strike out a lot, they hit a lot of home runs, and it's okay. But he's still hitting over 300. Hitting the ball out of the ballpark and still stealing over 20 bases in a year, every single year. Smart. And then you put him on the outfield and defensive run saves, he's going to be all over the place.
Says he's the best defensive outfielder in the country, according to 643 charts. Strikes out there on a good right-on-right changeup from Garrett Young. There's one away.
And here's the changeup that we've been talking about, Jan. He's kind of been holding it back a little bit, but it's not that traditional changeup where it's going to fade down and into a righty. It kind of just rides where it's at. It almost looks like the optics where it's kind of going upwards.
He told us it's a high vert meaning induced vertical break.
Vertical break.
Changeup, which you always think with the fastball in the pitching parlance nowadays, but works with the change too. Here's Casey Cook. Bunt single to beat the shift his first time.
They're not letting him do it again.
Breaking ball misses on Cook out of Chantilly, Virginia. He's taken a huge step forward this year. Last year, good season, redshirt freshman. This year, their best pure hitter. OPS near 1100 with 18 tanks.
Last year, 3 home runs. This year, 18.
Rolls over on it at Navarro. Jan covers, 2 gone. How about what we've seen here on day 1 of the NCAA tournament? And if you've watched Squeeze play at all, Schick, Runes, Berkey were talking about this. Feels like this year, maybe more than others, at least so far on day 1, that the favored teams, the higher seeds, maybe not as safe as they've always been.
Yeah, listen, those lower seeds are good ball clubs. I mean, they all probably won a conference tournament to get to this point. They're all playing good baseball, especially late. And that's what you want. You want to play your best baseball at the end of the season. And when you are coming into any tournament like this, anything can happen.
Parks Harbor reached on a fielder's choice his first time. Of course, long way to go here in this one, bottom of the 3rd. We saw late offense in that first game. The LSU comeback against Wofford. You know, they made the point, and Berkey said this, because of how offensive the game is nowadays, you see less downright dominant starting pitching, maybe outside of Hagen Smith and Chase Burns, best 2 pitchers in the country. So maybe that's the reason they wondered why we're seeing this on day 1. 4-pitch walk, and Harbor's aboard with 2 outs for Carolina, down 2 in the 3rd.
And here's the other thing too. I mean, different style of pitching. You look at, you know, ACC and SEC. There's a lot of power guys. A lot of power guys coming to start. A lot of power guys coming in the bullpen. So it's a different look when you get a pitcher like Jan, who knows how to pitch, who works that ball around, who will change eye levels with his pitches. Maybe not the most overpowering guy, but it goes to show that you don't have to be overpowering to get outs.
He is working so far, second time through. 5th-year senior right-hander and number 1 for LIU. Anthony D'Onofrio blooped a single his first time. D'Onofrio's had a great season. 23-year-old 6th-year senior. Now at his 4th different school. Started out at D3 SUNY Cortland, a couple of years there. Transferred to Stony Brook, didn't play. Then Quinnipiac. Before here, where he's turned himself into a prospect. Scott Forbes said to us this week, I think top 5-round talent. He said maybe top 3. He said he thinks some of the scouts he talks to are trying to downplay D'Onofrio so that the other scouts don't hear about him.
And that doesn't work. They'll always remember.
In the air on the line, center field. Pippersick on the move, can't get there. Harbor races around to 3rd. On his way to the plate. The throw, not in time. It's a 1-run game. Let's see, does LIU want to look at this as well? On the relay, did Jack Power get the tag on Parks Harbor trying to score from first?
I think they're going to go ahead.
They will.
And
They're going to
challenge this one. And just by me looking at it, because we got a great vantage point, because we're sitting up high, I could see that Power, when Parks Harbor was coming in, he tried to do the hook slide. And because of that hook slide, that foot was in front of home, and that gave enough time for him to slow down and Power to apply the tag.
Jack Power, I think, just said, if we're reading lips accurately, I think I got him.
Yeah. I mean, it was the slide, in my opinion, that slowed down Parks Harbor. Right here, he goes in for that hook slide, and you see how all of a sudden it's slow.
I think they got him.
I think they got him.
Wow.
You can see that slide. If he slides straight through, he's going to be safe. But once that foot starts to bend, it kind of catches. He's able to apply the tag right before that foot hits home plate.
You see the immediate reaction from Jack Power, who was pretty sure they got him in time. And what a relay from Jared Wade, the second baseman, to the plate after Pippersick ran it down, got it in, and then Wade fired to Power.
Pippersick, I think, was the big one in that relay, being able to get that ball as quickly as he did and get that ball in. But you're right, Wade turning and fired and getting that ball to home, to Power. Quickly making that tag, too.
And then we're all just hanging out, chatting as well. All right, so let's pick it up the entire way. You say great job by Pippersick getting to it and slinging this in quickly.
And then a great job by Wade as that backup secondary man, being able to play it the way that he did on that long hop. That's why they tell you to be about 10 feet from that first cutoff, because if that is an overthrow, that's going to be a perfect throw for that secondary cutoff man, and then getting it and firing it in home to Power.
And for Jared Wade, he's one of two choices Dan Perillo's had at second base. Wade is the more offensive choice. And Dan Perillo said to us, I just committed myself a couple weekends ago to going with Wade instead of the more defensive option in Nick Del Vecchio. But he also said that Jared Wade, a redshirt junior out of Malvern Prep, shout out Runes in the Philly area, has really picked things up defensively as well. They played on some turf. That's helped out, playing on a really great surface here tonight. And he makes a clean pick on the hop and then delivers one to Power at the plate. We think this is going to be overturned. And it is! Jared Wade delivers a dart, and LIU cuts down a run at the plate. Jack Power dropped it down on Parks Harbor as Jake Pippersick ran this thing down to start it in center.
Just a great relay, great backup by Wade. Strong throw to Power, who applies a quick straight down tag.
And a good challenge again for Dan Perillo, the head coach, and you saw the reaction from Parks Harbor when it got overturned. So fourth inning, Long Island University, LIU, the Sharks, with a 3-1 lead on the number 4 national seed North Carolina as we start the fourth. 8-9-1. This is Noah Sorensen against Jason DeCaro. This is away, a ball and a strike on Sorensen, who reached on a Gallaher error back in the second. Noah Sorensen just 4 home runs this year, but one of the biggest of their entire season. Talked about this back in February, playing at Miami. 2-2 tie, top 9, and Sorensen homered to lead off that 9th inning in a win over the Hurricanes. Pops this one up. Right side of the infield, and Parks Harbor calls off Alex Madera for the first out. ESPN's the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals, and for around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scan that QR code below. You can use ESPN Plus and get everything you could want on Squeeze Play. I think Chris Budden's probably taken over, or just did, for Matt Schick. Reinforcements on the way.
They do so much work there. We've been watching. There's sometimes it's that 6 or 8 box. I'm like, I don't know how they're looking at all this baseball.
Rune steering the ship.
Oh, the professor.
Berkey riding shotgun. The whole gang.
Berkey always looks sweet too in his suit and tie.
Jared Wade flies one in the air to right field at D'Onofrio for out number 2. Is it me, or does Berkey have a chair that is higher than Rune's chair?
It's smart.
Making him appear significantly taller than Professor Rooney.
That's what smart people do, you know, make you look a little taller, stand up a little bit. You try to do it to me all the time.
No, I just am taller than you. If only.
This chair ain't working right.
No, you busted the.
I did not bust this chair. It was busted before I
got the guardrail. Hello. Yeah. Where are we looking? Center?
Center. This guard is not working right. I almost fell off.
Gabby and Mike, pleased to be with you, our entire crew behind the scenes. This game produced by Matt Krause and directed by Evan Badler. The whole gang making us sound like we maybe kind of know what we're talking about. This is Seth Surratt, line out and ground out so far. 2-0 from DeCaro. On the ground up the middle, base hit center field for Seth Surratt. One of the leaders for this LIU team. We told you he was the ringleader who, after this team's loss last Friday to Sacred Heart, decided the players were going to have movie night. And they watched 4 days in October at 30 for 30 on the Red Sox coming back against the Yankees from 3 down. And Seth told us, I'm a Yankees fan, so it really hurt to watch, but he had to for the team.
And you loved every bit of it.
I'm an impartial observer, Gavin. Here's Ben Ferenzi. Hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd. How you doing with the chair?
I almost fell again, so I'm just going to stand up for a little bit.
Walk it off.
I knew I don't walk. I go up the hit, damn it.
Someone was saying they go up to hit. Said they don't walk. Our microphones picked up someone down there.
I love
They
it.
didn't know I had that in the toolbox.
Is that Mastillo in the on-deck shirt?
It's Mastillo. I go up there to hit. I don't walk.
Well, he's walked twice.
I know.
So maybe saying they didn't know that he had the patience in the toolbox?
Yes. Or maybe he didn't know that he had the patience in the toolbox.
Caps. That second at bat, though, that second at bat, I was geared up to hit it to the moon.
If you can hear what we're hearing from Jake Mastillo, he said the second AB, he was geared up to hit it to the moon. He's positioned right in front of one of our microphones. So we get essentially an experience you would find on Sunday Night Baseball, where Jake Mastillo is basically mic'd up right now.
I feel like maybe the fans are talking to him and he's just enjoying every minute of it.
He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Kind of guy that when you met him at the Cages pregame, he was getting ready to hop in, take a round, and he took off his batting glove to shake your hand. He's not going to shake your hand with his batting glove on.
And I mean, I appreciate it. I don't mind. I know that there's a lot of spit. I used to do the same thing too. But he takes it off very professionally, shakes the hand. I told him too, hey, don't take it off. We're good.
A couple good fastballs from DeCaro, 2-2. DeCaro's trying to avoid Mastillo here in the 4th with 2 outs and Surratt aboard. 60 pitches deep. Jason DeCaro deals. Bouncing ball up the middle, and Colby Wilkerson flips to Madera, inning over. Middle of the 4th in Chapel Hill. Heels down by 2 to LIU. Game 2 in this Chapel Hill Regional on day 1. And the Long Island University Sharks have a 3-1 lead on the number 4 national seed, North Carolina. Thanks in large part to a 3-run shot, Oppo in the 3rd, from the big bopping first baseman J.C. Navarro. 5-6-7 for North Carolina. This is Alberto Osuna, who had a run-scoring bloop single to right in the 1st against Garrett Yon. Scott Forbes was telling us that recently Osuna's had a lot of hard hit balls with not a lot to show for it. Felt like he had a good weekend in store. It's been a career high in OPS this year for Osuna, 5th-year senior from South Carolina. 2-1 from Yon.
I mean, tough season for him last year. Of course, he was coming off that hammock bone. He broke that one. And he really couldn't get that power going. But then all of a sudden this year, boy, I mean, a huge little change. Bat speed was there again. Ball was just flying off his bat. He's one of those guys, too, that almost chokes up with that bat every single pitch. And he's just short and quick to the baseball.
He's looking more like the guy who 2 years ago had the 20 home runs. 3-1. Big cut. And how about a 3-1 right-on-right changeup?
Right changeups, people don't realize, are really good pitches, and the reason why is because righties usually don't see it. And for me, like big leaguers, that's what they're starting to utilize a lot more.
Swing and a miss. Jan doubles up on the right-on-right change and punches out Alberto Osuna.
The thing is that Jan's throwing this just like his fastball. You can see right from over the top. And that pitch, that one had a lot more action diving a little bit down. That one he got really on top of. Usually that pitch kind of just floats kind of up with that vertical induced break. But this one, that one gets on top, ball fades down, gets the swing and miss.
Brings up Luke Stevenson. Jan was telling us this week as he throws another change. He was 8 years old when he went to his first pitching lesson, and he said they taught me the classic bunny ears changeup. You stick your fingers up, you throw it. And he threw it like that for a while. High school, it turned into more of a palm ball. His high school coaches were trying to get him to learn a real changeup, in his words. But he just kind of stuck with that grip. A little bit different. Pronates, puts the fingers out, calls it like a parachute. He said it's weird, but it's comfortable for me. And he throws it 2-0 as well.
It's effective. I mean, we've seen it all day. It's right. I like the parachute reference because that's what it kind of looks like. The ball's going, and it just kind of stops as it's getting into the hitting zone.
Again, it's a 4-pitch mix, but this second time through, as we wondered, he is really showing it a lot more after he was heavy on the heater the first time through.
And the problem is, since he's not a guy that's really overpowering, where now we're starting to see a lot more guys in that mid-90s, low 90s. He doesn't have that. But when you're throwing that changeup at 78, 79 miles an hour, 88 gets on you quick.
2-2 on the freshman backstop, Luke Stevenson. Swing and a miss. Case in point, 88 feels like a lot more from Garrett Jan, and he's fanned back-to-back and has 3 Ks total. Coming up, we will talk to Scott Forbes about Jason DeCaro. Maybe wonder how he could try to solve that changeup in the veteran Garrett Jan. This is Gavin Gallaher, 7-hole third baseman. Freshman who's had a nice season with the bat. Landed him on the ACC all-freshman team. And Gallaher has been back in the starting lineup fully the last month and a half, going back to the NC State series in mid-April in Raleigh. So the fastball and the change we've seen a lot of. Curveball is 12-6, haven't seen much of that. And then the 4th pitch, definitely by usage, is the slider that he's just tried to add. You mentioned this, just to get something going in a different direction.
Yeah, because most of his pitches basically stay straight or move in towards that righty. And that was it. That's that slider that he's started to create because he wanted something to go away from that righty hitter or into the lefty. Almost more like a cutter than a slider. But it's just to give you a different effect as a hitter.
3-1 on a patient Gavin Gallaher. Sky to left and hit well. Bastillo backs up. It is gone. Solo shot Gavin Gallaher, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Gavin Gallaher cuts the lead to 1 with his 7th home run of the season. And boy, this is what we call a skyscraper. This ball was in the air for a long, long time, and it gets out of here.
Now Alex Madera pulls back. With the score now 3-2. LIU. A little bit more life back in this crowd here in Chapel Hill. Alex Madera to center. Peppersick backs up. Inning over. Gavin Gallaher makes this a one-run game through 4. Scott Forbes with us right after this. Always good chatting with Scott Forbes. 4th year at the helm. We told you ACC Coach of the Year. 23rd year on staff. We're up 30 minutes away. A native of Sanford, North Carolina. What a job he's done with this program. 5th inning, 3, 4, and 5. And the very vocal Jake Mastillo takes ball 1 from Jason DeCaro. 2 walks, as Mastillo told you himself last inning. Gonna swap out baseballs here.
Yeah, he went to his mouth and then went right to the baseball, so they make him swap it out because you're supposed to, if you're licked, you're supposed to wipe it off. Even though I know a lot of pitchers that would lick with the 2 fingers and then wipe with the other 3, and still have the a little tricky.
Do you want to name names?
I'm not naming names.
Okay.
I don't get people in trouble.
2-0 on Mastillo.
But they were very good pitchers and smart too.
Causation there? Is that why they were very good pitchers?
No, it's just they wanted to get that stickiness, so they needed that little wetness.
So with the new baseball, it was ball 2 from DeCaro to Mastillo. Pulled on a line, foul. Talking about this earlier, that Jake Mastillo said he knew he was more offensive minded when he hit the portal. He said I knew my purpose in a lineup was going to be to hit. Offense is where I make my money and have the most to offer to a team. So in the portal, he expressed his interest in getting away from doing catching. He said to us, when you'd have your last 2 ABs in a game as a catcher, the 6th, 7th, the 8th, 9th inning, he said you were just dragging so much. He feels a lot better offensively. Full count.
I can concur. I definitely caught when I was in the minor leagues. And boy, when you got into that 3rd and 4th AB, you're looking down at your legs, just saying, just work one more time. Just give me one more good one.
It's another walk worked by Mastillo. And another one of those free passes issued by DeCaro. So Matthew Mateus, guy who just piles up wins galore. He's up in the Carolina pen. It's a really good UNC bullpen for the Heels. And it looks like Scott Forbes might be making the move. .65 pitches into the 5th. Game 1 of this regional. And Scott Forbes takes the baseball from his superstar freshman. Makes the move, and Matthew Mateus will come on with the Heels down 1. Jason DeCaro's day is done for North Carolina after 4+ innings. A 4th walk, a couple of hit batters as well, but Scott Forbes just said to us, he exits in a 1-run game, give his team a chance, and now you've got a trustworthy bullpen if you're North Carolina. And Matthew Mateus comes on, the sophomore from Greenville, 3rd-team All-ACC, which, say what you want about wins and losses, he's got a dozen wins, tied for the 2nd most in the country.
It's a lot of wins for Mateus. 51 strikeouts compared to the 15 free passes. It's a good fastball, lively, 92 to 94 miles an hour. Good cutter, slider, curveball. He likes to play that cutter off that slider.
Started with 92 that missed to Carlton Harper. A walk and a strikeout for the cleanup man, Harper. So the nation's leader is Sanford's Michael Ross with 13 wins. Mateus with a dozen. And you're talking about guys like A.J. Causey of Tennessee. He's got 11. Chase Burns, as good as he's been, he's got 10. And so Jason DeCaro said to us, we call Mateus the Vulture. That's awesome.
It's just fun that word never goes away from pitchers in the bullpen getting wins. Because that's what we always used to call those type of pitchers. They would come in, and as soon as the game would end, would come in. Good Vulture win.
Would you like to name names here?
Oh boy, there was plenty. And
Someone coming in behind like A.J. Burnett.
And right, somebody coming in behind A.J. Burnett or Josh Johnson who go out there and throw, 6 scoreless.
On the ground, diving stab, Madera from his knees. One away.
Boy, what a play by Madera's, just stealing a hit. Ranging, and I love the angle that he takes back into that outfield grass, fully stretched, just knocked the ball down. And there's the reaction by Harper. Come on, that's gotta be a hit.
Come here.
Madera, the 23-year-old D3 transfer from Arcadia University in Pennsylvania. And it's second now for J.C. Navarro. 3-run home run his last time in the third after he popped out and foul ground to first to end the first, and strand 2. Sky to center at Honeycutt. Lines it up, and they will not test Vance Honeycutt. 2 gone.
That's a good idea not to test Vance Honeycutt, especially from that spot over there in center field where he's coming in behind the baseball.
So 2 down, and Mastillo at second. Brings up Jack Power. Power from Northampton, Massachusetts, second team all conference. He's played all over the place around the infield before in his career, but we told you he stepped in behind the plate due to injury. Ball 1. We're talking with Jake Mastillo about Power. He said Power's also been coming back from injury this year. He's got all these innings thrown his way that he's got to handle behind the plate. He said he's handled it like a full-grown man at the age of 21. Coming from a guy who's probably 22, 23. Talking to these LIU players, they sounded like veteran guys. Really fun bunch to chat with. Mastillo at second, 2-0 to Power. Yeah, 3-0. Manny Mateus last year was a reliable piece of the pitching staff for Carolina as a true freshman. 3.86 ERA in just over 20 innings. Then this year he's really slashed his walks. He's had a good season. 3-1. Curls in for a strike at the top of the zone.
That's the one that you want if you're Power. Little breaking ball, top of the zone, really doesn't do much. Kind of looking for that walk. That's the one you can explode on if you're hitting.
Matty Mateus trying to get Carolina off the field. Fouled away. Dan Perillo will be with us when we come back. So shorten up your breaks to go off to the fridge or to the restroom. He'll be with us on the other side. Mastillo at second. 2 away, 5th inning, 1-run game. 3-2 again. Down and Power Bauer works a great plate appearance with a couple of good takes. And LIU's got the second walk work this inning against Heels pitching.
I mean, just a great take by Power. Not chasing that. And we haven't really seen LIU chase really much. We talked about Caro and his walks. They weren't really chasing out of the zone.
So 2 on for Jake Pippersick. Fly out to right, line out to center. Line drive center field, and Vance Honeycutt's on the move to run it down. Manny Mateus comes on and ends up leaving 2 for the Sharks, who lead by 1 halfway through in Chapel Hill. 8th-year head coach, who for a long time this program had not been to the places he's now taken it. 2000 to 2016, before he took over, they'd only made the conference tournament 3 times. Now he's led them to 3 NCAA tournaments, including this year. 9-1-2 for Carolina starts with Colby Wilkerson, the shortstop. Grounded to second his first time and gets another look at the 5th-year senior Garrett Yon. It's been the best year with the bat for Wilkerson. I'm talking with Scott Forbes this week. He said, I think a lot of people never thought that Colby Wilkerson would play here at Carolina. And Colby used that as a chip on his shoulder. Said he was about 150 pounds when he got here and the bat swung him. But he's been steady at short. And the bat, like we said, is ticked up. He's trying to get aboard against Yon to start this home half of the 5th inning. Leader for a strike. With Garrett Yon, they are prepared to empty the tank pitch-wise with the big right-hander. Dan Perillo told us he can throw 120. That misses, and it's a leadoff walk. Wilkerson is on. NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow here on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more info, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Dan Perillo also said to us that sometimes it's 60 or 70 pitches into an outing where Garrett Yon, really gets moving. Been pretty good first 2 times through. But now back to the top for Vance Honeycutt. Fastball for a strike to Honeycutt, who was grounded to short. It struck out on a good change after he ran it full his last time in the 3rd.
And you're right about the pitching, about the amount of pitches that he will throw. He'll go 120. And you look at where he's at right now, and you're still like, oh, he has a couple more innings that he can pitch because he's probably got about 50 more in the tank that he can throw. And he's the type, too, that's going to say, leave me with this ball, especially if he's out there and pitching well.
Dan Perillo said it's the type of body that doesn't get fatigued, but actually throws better when the arm is going slower. 0-2. Honeycutt lays off the big curve. One-two. Just outside, 2-2. Vance Honeycutt, the superstar center fielder. Waiting on a 2-2 from Garrett Yon. Swing and a miss. Another right-on-right changeup. And it's 4 Ks, 2 of them against Vance Honeycutt for Garrett Yon.
Again, this ball starts right at the bottom part of the zone, but of course, where he releases that baseball, when he gets on top with that changeup, it looks like a fastball coming in. And he talks about the parachute, and boy, that one does have a parachute as it's hitting home plate, just dropping down.
Brings up the All-ACC left fielder Casey Cook. Bunt single. Roll over, ground out to first. Fastball up. We're talking about pitch count and emptying the tank for Garrett Young. He said to us, there's just some times where you know what you have to do. You know you have to go back on short rest. You know you got to give 120.
Yep.
Last year in the conference tournament, he went 123. And Dan Perillo said to us that was when things changed, and he has fully bloomed this year as their #1.
It doesn't matter how many pitches he throws. He knows that he's that ace, and he wants to go out there and he wants to have the ball. And guess what? That's the pitcher that you want.
It's a sword up the ladder, and it's 1-2 on Cook.
Now, I'm thinking that after that sword up the ladder, he's going to go straight to that changeup down in the zone.
From small town Southern California to the big stage in Chapel Hill. Jan's 1-2. Was the change. Cook was really ready for it as well.
It's just a good pitch, especially down. Now, if he's able to spot a fastball down in the zone here, he's going to get Cook looking. Because you're thinking now as a hitter, I've got to lead down. I have to look up.
So paint with a heater.
Paint with the heater down.
That's what he does. Great call by you. It's a backwards K and back-to-back punch-outs for Garrett Young.
I mean, it's just that's kind of what a pitcher needs to do. And that's called pitching. And that's why pitchers who throw that 88, 89 can be so effective, because he's able to change the zone with the changeup, still throw that fastball up. But then once you go down with that changeup and you're taking, here comes a fastball down in the zone. Boy, it's hard to swing.
Parks Harbor. So again, it was fastball up, changeup down, no chase in the dirt. But because his eye level, Casey Cooks, is trained down there, if you go fastball at the knees, it's going to look like the change, and you think it's dropping down.
Yeah, it's going to look like the changeup, and you're already telling yourself anything down, take.
Harbor walked his last time. 2-0. Leadoff walk, back-to-back Ks against some of the best bats for North Carolina. Swing and a miss. 89 riding in. Garrett Young pitched against FIU early on this year, and Miami in his next start. Went 4 2/3, 2 runs against that ACC foe. 2-2, fouled off the mask of Jack Power.
That's right. Especially the ones that get you square just like that, locks up your jaw. And you'll see a lot of catchers, when that ball hits, they open up their mouth, because, I mean, it really feels like you broke something back in your jaw. Oh, boy. You could hear it. Square right in the middle of the mask.
2-2 on Parks Harbor. Long holds. Jan fires. Just misses, and the count is full. That's almost like a different pitch as well, when you hold it that long, tinkering with timing.
And again, it's that fastball down in the zone, especially after you've been riding that top part. And it's changing eye levels, just going up and down and up and down.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Garrett Young strikes out 3 in a row after the leadoff walk in the 5th.
That's so impressive. Gets the changeup down in the zone. How about a painted fastball? Looking, and then to Parks Harbor, big fastball up and away.
How about the 2 games we have seen here so far in Chapel Hill? 1-run walk-off win for LSU against Wofford, who looked so good all game against the reigning national champs, and now the #4 national seed North Carolina. Down a run to Long Island University as we go to the 6th inning.
I mean, really, it's been a fun day because you were thinking that LSU was going to come out and that was going to be a big scoring game, and it wasn't. And then you look at this game and you thought this was going to be a big scoring game, and it's not. These are just really good baseball games back to back.
Matty Mateus is working against Noah Sorensen, 8-9-1 for the Sharks out of the Northeast Conference. The 1-1. Line drive right field, and D'Onofrio comes in and can make the catch. Sorensen's on with a leadoff single on a bullet to right.
Sorensen with a beautiful swing, staying on top of this baseball, driving it to right. D'Onofrio coming in, almost makes the sliding catch. That ball gets away, and Sorensen gets himself his first base hit in this regional.
North Carolina is the 3rd best defensive team in this field, according to defensive runs saved by our friends at 643 Charts. Jared Wade pulls back, and that's ball 1 from Matty Mateus. So 9-spot trying to bunt here with Jared Wade. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, then flew out to right field in the 4th. Parillo told us Jared Wade's the more offensive option, like we said. And the numbers aren't massive for him this year, but a couple of good weekends recently with the bat. Just didn't get in a groove in the regular season the way he did last year. They're expecting Jared Wade to feel comfortable here with the bat in Chapel Hill during this regional. Mateus is 2-0. Wade gets it down, but foul up along first.
I like the thought process there. Try to get another guy in scoring position for your top of the lineup. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried here again.
Mateus with those dozen wins this year. Peers in at Wade. Does try again and bunts it foul. Think about the margins that you see in the NCAA tournament. Trying to drop down a bunt. Think of a near catch from D'Onofrio in the right field. A couple of challenges we've seen already overturned. The play at the plate. And now Jared Wade will have to swing, you would think. No, he's squaring again, pulls back, and it's called a ball. And now the count is full, and Mateus can't believe it.
Boy, Mateus thought he got this one. Good breaking ball down and away. Just a bit off. Steve Stevenson kind of grab that ball and bring it back to that corner.
Three balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Wade strikes out. 1 away. So it's back to the top for Seth Surrett. 1 out, 1 on for 5th-year senior from New Windsor, New York. 3rd on the team in OPS at .950. Seth Surrett has had this wonderful season. A It comes in the context of last year, a season that ended early because, as he told us, I broke the whole left side of my face. He had an outfield collision in right field last season and suffered serious damage.
Really good enough.
The upper and lower parts of his jaw both broken. Busted bones on the left side of the face. Told us he blew out his eye socket as well. But it made him appreciate how much he loves this game. Came back to lead this team for a 5th season. 2-1. Told us he had never broken a bone until then. And then to have something that gruesome happen.
Broke a lot of bones in that one break.
Now thankfully is healthy. With Sorensen on and 1 out in the 6th.
Nice.
The biggest things about those injuries too is that next fly ball in the outfield.
Yeah.
Especially in the gap where you're going, oh boy, let me slow up, or am I going to make contact again with somebody?
Another toss to first to check on Sorensen. Surratt's a real fun personality. Dan Perillo was telling us, shows a lot of it on the field. He's turned into a complete hitter, leadoff guy. Title game on Sunday, got aboard 5 times. 2-2. It's a high OBP for Seth Surratt, 465. Team leading 41 walks this year and leads this team in pitches seen per plate appearance. Swings and misses the least of anyone on LIU's team. But staring down at 2-2 and lays off. Good take.
I mean, it really has impressed me with their plate discipline.
How they haven't chased.
How they haven't really chased. Yeah, every once in a while, guys will chase, but as a whole, they've been really good.
On the ground, first. And foul.
It's a very nonchalant call. Everybody just waiting.
Everyone's like, hang on a second.
Wait, is it fair? Is it foul? Foul.
Talk about what LIU has done offensively. So they've worked 5 walks. They've only struck out twice against Carolina pitching. 3-2 on the way. And Surratt hits it hard into right center field, a base hit. Sorensen was on the move and gets a stop sign at 3rd. And LIU's got him at the corners, up a run in the 6th. What an AB from Seth Surratt.
Well, I mean, just a great swing. And this is a breaking ball, and Surratt just stays on it. That's low in the zone. He doesn't swing. That ball might be hitting the ground, but he stays on it. Big part of the field. Sorensen on the move makes it easily to 3rd.
With his fan club here at Chapel Hill. Ben Ferenzi in the 2 spot is due next. Then Luke Stevenson will come out with action up in the Heels bullpen. Remember, it's a very good bullpen for Scott Forbes and Brian Gaines to choose from. Well, if you're just joining us, maybe you've been flipping around, maybe you've been locked in on squeeze play. The big swing for LIU came back in the 3rd inning from JC Navarro.
Gets a breaking ball outside corner and just unleashes on it. That was a 3-run home run. Really, I mean, for DeCaro, it was the 3 passes that hurt him on that one. Ferenzi had a hit by a pitch. Mostello had a base on ball, and then bam, here comes a 3-run homer.
So now Brian Gaines is out to visit with his entire infield as well. And by the way, look who's in the building.
Oh.
Roy Williams. The fit check is immaculate for Coach. Here with Wanda as well.
I want to see him dance. That was my best part of watching those tournaments. They would go into that clubhouse when they would win, and he would be dancing. Add moves.
He's living his best life in retirement.
I love the hat.
Checking out all the proceedings
Is that
here
a fedora?
at the Bosch. Is that what you call that?
I don't know. I think so.
Is that a little bigger than a fedora?
Maybe.
I think so.
I mean, it's
I can't
a cool
pull it
hat.
off, so I don't know. But I'll ask Coach if I see him on the way out. Loves his Argyle and is always well dressed. Alexander Julian keeps him stocked. All right, so they're at the corners for LIU, and this is Ben Ferenzi out of the 2 spot, squaring and pulling back. What would you like to see the Sharks do here offensively?
I mean, I love the thought process here of just going up there, and for me, it's like the Tampa Bay Rays play where you bunt it to the first baseman, you get another guy in scoring position. It's going to be a tough play for first baseman to come in and get that out at home.
Nice, good off speed from Mateus.
And if you are looking to swing the bat, you got to look for something elevated and out over. Not trying to hit that ball to the big part of the field. Just get the job done. Get one across.
Two and one. Dalton Pence was up. He was throwing. And certainly appears ready out in the pen for Carolina whenever they want to go to him.
Harper's doing a good job at first base, too. As soon as he sees the square around, he is charging in.
2-1. Fouled away, 2-2 on Ferenzi. Mateus came on in the 5th. Left 2. 1 out, 2 on now in the 6th. In the regional opener for both these teams. His 2-2. Outside, full count, and Ferenzi shakes his head saying, not so fast. 3 straight full counts worked by Sharks hitters. You mentioned it early on. They just have not expanded very much. 3-2. On the ground, left side. Gallaher toward the bag. Got him! Noah Sorensen is off a 3rd and is out number 2 here in the 6th.
I mean, nothing you can do there if you're Sorensen. That's just a great play by Gallaher at 3rd. Ball up the line, sees, yep, I've got the ability. How about that, the sliding in to make sure that you're not going to be able to get back with that tag. I mean, really good heads-up play.
What a swing here, and Matty Mateus loves it from his freshman 3rd baseman. Shook off the error on just the bobble earlier. And now dangerous Jake Mastillo, who's walked 3 times. Breaking ball for a land strike to begin. Jake Mastillo in 2 seasons has set and then broken his own program record for home runs in a season with Long Island University. Bouncing ball to Wilkerson. Inning over. The Vulture, Matty Mateus, doing his part in a major way for Carolina here at home. We got good baseball galore going on around the country right now. North Carolina in a 1-run game against LIU after a walk-off 1-run win earlier here for LSU against Wofford in the Chapel Hill Regional. Elsewhere, you've got VCU leading Wake Forest 1-0. How about Christian Gordon for VCU? Dozen punchies through 7 shutout against the Deeks. Garrett Yawn has thrown 86 pitches through 5. Starts out with a bending breaking ball that just misses to Anthony D'Onofrio. Bloop single, double in the 2 trips for D'Onofrio. It's a great story for Anthony D'Onofrio to get to this point. You mentioned all the stops he's been at in his career. Carolina now his 4th school. When he transferred to Stony Brook, back home, a Long Island native, got told by the coaching staff at Stony Brook he wasn't good enough to play for them. So he taped that email to his door. It's a constant reminder. Great story on Inside Carolina about the journey. Fort D'Onofrio, who then went out and played summer ball, then emailed nearly every college coach in the country. Ended up at Quinnipiac. Spent the last 2 years there. Very good seasons with the bat and with the glove. 2-2. He runs it full against Yon. Can North Carolina get to Garrett Yon this 3rd time through?
Well, what you're hoping for if you're UNC is that what you just finished doing on defense carries over to that offense, because you just got out of a huge inning.
Swing and a miss. Another great change. 4 straight strikeouts for Garrett Yon. Hey, ESPN's the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. Scan the QR code below for squeeze play. Here's Button has taken over. They are steering the ship back in Bristol. Eric Posman, Greg Pike, directing you to everywhere you need to go around these 16 regionals. Alberto Osuna, breaking ball up. So 4 straight Ks for Yon after the leadoff walk to begin the 5th inning.
Listen, what you're starting to see out of Garrett Yon too is starting to throw that curveball a little bit more this 3rd time through the lineup.
Show me pitch.
It's a show me pitch. Just kind of just doing the same thing that he's been doing all day. The adding and subtracting of his pitches. Now all of a sudden here, I'm going to throw you a little curveball just so you see something different rather than the changeup. Then I'll come with that fastball up, speed it up. Now I can go back to a changeup and just keep mixing up the speeds.
Pulled on a line left field at Mastillo, and it drops in front. 1-out single for Alberto Osuna, and the tying run is on for Carolina.
Starts to look too like UNC is kind of starting to figure out Yon just a little bit. Okay, he likes to come with that fastball, then he wants to go with something off speed, then he'll go back to the fastball to mix and match. Right there, Ozuna just stays on that changeup just a little bit more longer and is able to hit a line drive to left.
Man aboard for Luke Stevenson, freshman from Wake Forest. Curve dropped in, case in point. 4 strike 1. The rookie backstop, who has been outstanding taking over for Tomas Frick. And look at this. Only freshman catcher for a national seed. And the only freshman catcher for a power conference team that's in this field. And we only have 2 freshman catchers, bottom line there, in the tourney, who've hit as well as Luke Stevenson by OPS. The other one's here as well. Wofford's Daniel Jackson.
We just finished seeing the other one.
So again, by that evidence, probably looking at the best freshman catcher in the country.
I would agree with you. What he's able to do behind the plate, really good receiver, really good at blocking balls, not letting guys get the extra 90. And then you have power, you have average, guy that drives and runs.
3-1.
And doing it for basically the whole entire year in that 8 spot. Because that's where he was hitting. I mean, putting up numbers like he has with the RBIs, with the home runs from that spot is not an easy task.
He's in the driver's seat before the 100th pitch from Garrett Yon. We get a mound visit from Holden Capps, second-year pitching coach. Does this feel like the biggest hinge point in this game for Garrett Yon so far?
I mean, I think it is, especially with Luke Stevenson batting. The last thing that you want to do is just say, hey, here's a fastball. He's a guy that can easily leave the yard, and then all of a sudden you're going to be looking like you're down 4-3 at that point. So it's a big pitch and a big-time situation, and even though he's a freshman hitter, he does not act that way.
Well, that is everyday Eddie Guardado In other words, P.J. Moritz out in the bullpen, one of the nation's leaders in appearances, starting to get hot right beside Noah Tabai, 20 in gray, who stepped up in the conference tourney. Crowd is activated here at the Bosch. 1 out, 1 on, down a run to the 4 seed. Ball 4. Just the 3rd walk, but 2 in the last 2 innings from Garrett Yon. Gavin Gallaher comes to the plate. He has homered and done it with a glove as well.
It was a big-time home run, and in just this last half inning, made a saving play at third base. Beautiful job. And it always seems to happen, right? You just finished making a really nice play in the field, and then you come up to hit with guys in scoring position.
Ball 1 on a glove side fastball that misses to Gallaher. From Apex, North Carolina, on the ACC All-Freshman team. On a line to right center field, and that splits the gap for Gavin Gallaher. Osuna motors around. We're tied in the 6th inning. The freshman has arrived on the big stage in Chapel Hill.
Oh, what a big time at bat for Gallaher. Takes that breaking ball and just drives it to right center field. And this is what I love the most. As soon as he hits this ball, all of a sudden this ball looked like it was going to split the gap. It doesn't. It doesn't make it all the way. They did a good job of cutting it off. But there was nobody at second base. He sees that, continues running over there, and all of a sudden you have second and third. And Alex Medeiros coming up.
First pitch swinging left field, and North Carolina leads. They send around Gallaher, and it's a 2-run lead. The dam has broken for the Tar Heels against Garrett Yon.
And all of a sudden, here comes this UNC lineup. Boy, they can hit. Madero gets that fastball and doesn't try to do too much with it, just drives it the opposite way. And because Gavin Gallaher had great base running, getting himself into scoring position, he did not have to stop. He was off and running. That ball gets by. Madero then gets to second base, and now UNC has another runner in scoring position.
And still just 1 out. And now time called right at home plate. Jack Power might have something in his eye, and the wheels turn for LIU head coach Dan Perillo. Again, we told you they were going to ride Garrett Yon maybe toward 120. And Scott Forbes can finally sneak in a smile with 3 runs in, and the Heels leading for the first time since the 1st inning. Outside to Colby Wilkerson. Now, how big can Carolina build this lead?
If you're Carolina, you want to just continue to add. That momentum kind of shifted because of Gallaher, especially defensively in that last inning. And then he delivers again. You know, Coach Forbes talked about it too. When we spoke with him, he said that was a big hit by Gallaher. Let's see if that all of a sudden just takes the pressure off the guys. Well, there wasn't really much going on until Gallaher comes up again. And he said, I'll take the real pressure off everybody and tie this ball game up.
There was an error in left field as well on Jake Mastillo. Madera's at second. Hot shot to first, and Navarro backhands for out number 2. Madera to third.
Well, that's a nice play there by that saves a run. That's a nice, quick pick at first base and making sure you're telling your pitcher, I got it, running it yourself to first.
Lineup turns over, and that means Gardiana gets another look at Vance Honeycutt, preseason All-American. Very likely a soon-to-be first-round draft pick with a chance to widen a 2-run Carolina lead. Big swing, tried to detonate one to Topo.
Just a tick late right now. And the only reason why is because when you look at his last 2 at-bats, what's been hurting him, it's been that changeup. So he's trying to let that ball get a little bit deeper, so now that fastball is going to get on him just a little bit more.
Stays back, strokes it in the air to center, but Jake Pippersick ends the inning. A 3 spot for the Heels, and North Carolina's got the lead again to the 7th. Number 4 national seed North Carolina's got the lead, 5-3 on LIU to the 7th. And the big guns can continue to trickle in for the Heels. This is the redshirt sophomore from Cherryville, North Carolina. 3rd team All-ACC left-hander Dalton Pence with a 2.14 ERA and a half dozen saves.
You look at how the strikeout rate, 55 in 42 innings. It's a good fastball, changeup, slider mix. That fastball is going to be 91 to 94. He does have a little cutter that he will throw, but for the most part, boy, that's a good fastball. Guys are only hitting 172 off of that pitch and only hitting 077 off the slider.
And what is it, 84% usage on the fastball for Pence?
He'll throw that fastball a whole bunch, 84% of the time. So it's basically, here's the fastball, and then when you're on it, he's breaking off that slider.
4, 5, and 6 starts with Carlton Harper, who has walked, struck out, and grounded out. 5th-year senior for LIU. We were talking with Jason DeCaro. He said, Dalton Pence? Oh, yeah, it's just a lot of fastballs coming right after you at 93. Scott Forbes has said, I think Dalton Pence and Duke's Charlie Bielenson. Forbes thinks they're the 2 best relievers in the ACC. Breaking ball down and away. Dalton said this recently, I know my stuff works best. We're going right after hitters. I'm not trying to nibble. Came in attacking here to begin the 7th. 1-2. After 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th from the Tar Heels. Harper trying to get something started for the Sharks. Strikes out. 1 away. And look what we spotted in the Heels dugout as well. What is this, the rally animal?
The rally hippo. I feel like he's even wearing shorts. Did they paint on shorts and everything? I mean, good. Good for them to do that.
Is that what those are, shorts?
They look like shorts. I mean, got the rally hippo.
That is fantastic. Toss it atop some cups. Let's roll. Oh, yeah.
There it is. They got the pants on them and everything.
Undergarments, you might say. What do we call that thing?
We're going to have to ask.
Now they get 2 on JC Navarro.
Do we get to name it?
Let's be good guess. So let's not get greedy. But if you got ideas.
Give me an inning or 2.
Okay.
I want to come up with a good name here.
Pence is 0-2. Navarro lays off. He had the 3-run home run back in the 3rd. Otherwise, pop out and foul ground to first. Fly out to center for one of the big bats in the heart of the lineup for the Sharks. Pence is 1-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks and a pretty good K strut from Dalton Pence.
Oh, he's feeling it. And you can really see that momentum shift in this game. Good slider down and in. after some good fastballs, and that's how you do it. You set your fastball up, you get guys to start to have to cheat to it, then you throw that good slider.
Brings up Jack Power. Strike one. And Dalton Pence is just pouring in fastballs all over the zone. Pence didn't pitch as a freshman. Last year, 3.33 ERA in a bunch of different roles for the North Carolina pitching staff. He's come back these last couple of years from Tommy John and has a bulldog mentality on the bump. Bouncing ball right side. Madera makes it a 1-2-3 for Pence. Powered by the new friend, the Rally Hippo in Chapel Hill. The lead is 2 for Carolina at the stretch. About 8:30 local time here in Chapel Hill. And North Carolina leads by 2 on the 4 seed in this regional, Long Island University, who goes to the bullpen and summons one of its top 2 relievers, Jack Van Doren, senior at 6'4" out of West Babylon, New York, with 9 saves, comes on for the 26th time. And what more can you say about the effort from Garrett Young, who just emptied the tank for the Sharks like he has done now for 2 straight weekends. A 5th-year senior who has started 3 times going back to last Thursday. So in 9 days, starting for a 3rd time. And gave Dan Perillo everything he had today. Carolina took a 1-0 lead in the first. The Sharks got a 3-run blast in the 3rd. Heels cut it to 1 in the 4th and got 3 in the 6th to surge in front. Van Doren is on. 2, 3, and 4 starts with Casey Cook. Breaking ball for a strike from the 6th-year senior, Jack Van Doren. Top 2 relievers, like we said, Jack Van Doren and P.J. Moritz, long-haired righty who was up earlier. Dan Perillo said to us, these guys can both go multiple innings. They both can go, heck, 3 days in a row if we need them to. It will give everything for this team, much like Jan.
And Van Doren has a good fastball slider, changeup curveball mix. He's mostly sticking with that fastball slider. Not going to be overpowering, but he knows just like the same thing that we saw in Young. Just knows how to move the ball up and down, moves it in and out.
This guy was a submarine pitcher, but wasn't seeing much time his first 4 years on campus. And then 2 years ago, when this team was in the NCAA tournament in the regional at Maryland in College Park, he threw a bullpen over the top, had been submarine, threw one over the top for the first time in 4 years. Hit 89 and hasn't looked back. I mean, it's not often you hear of guys going from submarine back to traditional over the top like Jack Van Doren's done with this much success too.
Yeah, no, you never see that. Usually once you stay down there, it's that deception which makes you tough to hit. And then all of a sudden you say, I'm going to switch it up, go over the top, and here comes that speed.
This one lifted to shallow left. Twilight Sky, Jake Mastillo makes the catch to put away Cook for the first out. You know, it's interesting too, we talked about how this LIU Sharks group was formed. Merger of the 2 campuses a handful of years ago. And Van Doren had been a guy playing for the D2 school, LIU Post, more on Long Island, east of Brooklyn, but has found a home with his D1 group years later. Parks Harbor walked in the third. 2-0 from Jack Van Doren.
And for Van Doren, you need to keep this game right where it's at. Go after these UNC hitters and get your offense back in there.
Pumps in a strike. 23-year-old who we told you his first 4 years not used much. Just 9 innings over 4 years, and now 2 years in a row, one of their most trusted arms. Harper vaults this one to right and sets Surratt. He's there for the second out. So if you can get through this bottom of the 7th, offensively you'd have 6 outs left to work with, needing 2. LIU will have 7, 8, and 9 due up in the 8th inning. Figure as long as it stays at 2, it's going to be Pence the rest of the way.
Yeah, you would think that it would be Pence the rest of the way. And I mean, really, if you're LIU, you're looking at trying to just get a couple guys on and see if you can get to the top of the order.
Anthony D'Onofrio's on with an infield single.
And on the flip side, you're UNC, you want to add on as much as you possibly can. And with a guy like Alberto Ozuna coming up, he can change the game quickly in an instant with a big blast.
How would you pitch him?
Very carefully. I mean, the way that they've been throwing to him right now with the good changeups, he's still been hitting the ball really well. So he's starting to sit on those off-speed pitches. So I'll try to attack him in and get him to try to get those hips and open up. And once I see him open up, especially with that fastball, then it kind of go down and away on him. But you have to be able to get that ball in. If you leave that ball out over the plate, it can go a long way.
He's got 2 singles, including his last time to the pull side. So they try to come in and miss with ball 1.
And I won't mind them doing it again. And if I'm them, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack in again. One, see if he wants to try to pull the trigger on it. And really, that pitch, the only thing you're going to be able to do is just pull it foul.
Good block by Jack Power.
Now with Stevenson hitting behind, you kind of that's who you start to look at this point. Lefty-lefty matchup. Even though you're going to put a guy in scoring position, might be the right play here.
Ooh, out over.
Oh, we're going right after him. Tell you what, Ozuna wasn't really late on that one. He just got a tick underneath it.
Jack Van Doren's 2-1. Off the edge. 3-1 on Alberto Ozuna.
Now, if I'm Ozuna up to bat right now, I'm looking for one pitch. That one that I just finished fouling straight back. And I want to be on time on that fastball, and I'm trying to catch that ball out in front.
Full count.
Two runners are moving. Going something off speed here.
See what Jack Van Doren does against Alberto Ozuna. 2 outs, bottom 7. Speedy D'Onofrio aboard and running. Out back.
Goes with that heater in. Ozuna just fouling it off.
Win it, baby. Win it, baby.
The splits for Alberto Ozuna pretty comparable against lefties and righties this year. Actually, a tick better against righties. Against the lefty, Van Doren. Long hold, 3-2 again.
Good.
Jack Van Doren's ready with a third 3-2 pitch. Now back by Osuna.
Just getting underneath that heater. Van Doren just running that heater in. That one was missed a little bit more on the plate, but still good pitches on the inner half.
Van Doren to Osuna. Another 3-2. In the air, center field on a line, and Pippersick dives to make the catch. Started back, hauls it in, and a 0 posted by Jack Van Doren. Sharks down 2 to the 8th. North Carolina leads LIU 5-3 as we start the 8th inning. Jake Pippersick faces Dalton Pence. Nifty pick there by Luke Stevenson, I believe, off the hop. Off the carom. Freshman can do everything. Did we see that correctly?
I mean, it happened quickly.
Swing and a miss. I think that was what happened.
Oh, yeah, coming back hot.
Hang with him, kid. It's up high. By the way, we've got great baseball happening everywhere. Elsewhere in this state, in Greenville, VCU's up 1-0 on Wake Forest in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Wake has 2 aboard. Swing and a miss. Dalton Pence has fanned 3 of the 4 he's faced since he came on in the 7th.
He's looked good coming in, utilizing that fastball slider mix, but really just going after guys with that heater. 5 swing and misses so far.
On just 16 pitches.
Ooh.
So the Sharks trying to start something with 8-hitter Noah Sorensen, who's been on twice, and now skies this one to left. Casey Cook goes back, looks up, has room for out number 2. Frustration from Noah Sorensen. And LIU. 4 outs left to play with after they carried a lead into the bottom of the 6th against the number 4 team in the country. Matt Mcgurk is the pinch hitter for the Sharks in the spot of 9-hole second baseman Jared Wade. Cut and a miss.
Wow, that's just a good elevated fastball from Pence. Not easy when you're coming off the bench and say, hey, here you go get that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Another redshirt freshman from New York who had just 1 AB in the conference tourney is down 0-2 against one of the best relievers in the country. Dalton Pence is 0-2. Popped up foul. Mcgurk redshirted last year. Long Island kid summoned here. Wake Forest just fell 1-0 indeed to VCU.
Yeah, first and second with no outs. You couldn't get that run ahead.
With their big bats as well. Here in Chapel Hill, Dalton Pence is 0-2. Just misses up at 93.
And that's a tough part with Dalton Pence when you're facing him, because he can throw you another fastball up in the zone, but then he can also throw that back foot slider.
Fastballs look pretty good.
It's looked really good.
Buried the off speed down, 2-2. 5-3 Heels in the 8th inning. Two-two pitch. In the air, left center field. McGurk puts a charge into it, and it's gone! A pinch hit home run from the freshman, and it's a one-run game. They tell Matt McGurk, you're the man. 5th home run of the season. Cracks one off Dalton Pence here in the 8th inning.
Boy, not easy to do. McGurk finally catches up to that fastball up in the zone. Pitcher supplying some power to that bat. And boy, that ball leaves this yard. And all of a sudden, the Sharks are in reach.
Back to the top for Seth Surratt. He singled his last 2 times. His first look at Dalton Pence. Surratt didn't offer, according to Jeff Macias. 1-1 on the 5th-year senior. Coming off the Northeast Conference Tournament MVP recognition. Has led this group 1-2. Dan Perillo told us coming into the year the goal was not just winning the conference tournament like years past. It was getting here and wanting to win a game, to take that next step as a program. They're in a 1-run game against the number 4 team in the country.
And he even said, too, we know it's not going to be easy. You're playing against the number 4 team in the country in UNC. But it does not matter. Go out there and try to win that game.
Dalton Pence's 2-2. Strikes out Surratt. But Matthew McGurk with a pinch hit home run trims the gap to 1 in Chapel Hill. And that was a little more tense because Matt McGurk hit a pinch hit home run to trim Carolina's lead to just 1 here in the 8th inning. He's already come out of the game, and Nick Del Vecchio, the more defensive option, is in at second base. 6, 7, and 8 starts with the freshman catcher Luke Stevenson against Jack Van Doren, who came on for the 7th. Gave up just an infield single. Sharks battling the Heels. To right field, Surratt goes back at the wall and makes the catch. Well, Gavin Gallaher did get one on a skyscraper earlier, and it's our Capital One rewarding performance.
Boy, hammering that pitch when they needed it the most. And then coming up huge with this double to tie the ball game up. Oh, by the way, he also ended up coming in to score, and right now he's that 5th run.
Takes a confident-looking hack. Jack Power wears another.
That's the 3rd one, and there you saw him grab that jaw and kind of pushing it forward. It's that impact. And boy, after you start getting in there time and time again, it starts to take its toll. Shaking the cobwebs off. Just enough. I mean, we've seen this 3 times already, just square right in the front of the mask. Oof.
No fun.
No, terrible. You can see him spit, try to rub that jaw. Feels like you get lockjaw right away. Terrible feel.
0-1 outside Gallaher. So Gallaher to start this season got the opening day nod at 2nd. Spent time in the leadoff spot for Carolina. They love the bat. They think he's a baseball player and could play in a bunch of different spots. But in the middle of April, they gave Gavin Gallaher a few games off. They felt like he had hit a little bit of a wall. The bat speed had slowed down a bit. wanted him to recover. And he's been in there down the stretch. We told you the last month and a half. And what an NCAA tournament debut for Scott Forbes that he's received from Gavin Gallaher. Jack Van Doren's 2-2. Misses, full count. This crowd's been awesome all game. Outside and Gallaher walks. Boy, he just is oozing confidence right now in the box.
I mean, he is just feeling so good. And you can just see it on every single pitch. I mean, he is ready to hit if you're missing in the zone. When you're out of the zone, his takes are that yes, yes, no take where I'm going to hit. Nope, my eyes are telling me no, and I'm getting back. Very confident.
Perillo sizing things up as Alex Madera climbs in. This big stage at Boshever Stadium.
And Madera, his last debut, had that huge single when the game was tied to give them that 5-3 lead, now 5-4.
You know, for North Carolina, for as great as this program has been, it's the first time as a top 8 seed since 2018. Also their first ACC title since then. Best team in the regular season. And look at this place. Hosting a regional again. You were here a couple of years ago for Supers. This is one of the premier programs in the country and one of the best sports scenes in college athletics. Two-1 is a strike from Van Doren.
I'd be interested to see if you let Gavin Gallaher go ahead and take off. He's 5 for 5 this year in stolen bases.
That right there, Gabby, is the field hockey stadium.
That right there? Yeah.
Out and right. Look at that scene.
That's sick.
2-2 is painted. 2 down.
Is that 3 seats up there in that center field?
That's getting in for free. It's got to be.
Boy, just a good fastball painted right on the outside corner.
Scott Forbes was joking this week. We got to make sure all the RVs of LSU fans, he said, that have made the trip, that they're not parked on the field hockey field. 2 away for the switch hitting Colby Wilkerson, who walked back in the 5th inning. Strike 1 to start. Boy, if you're Jack Van Doren, if you can get through scoreless 7th and 8th innings to give your team a chance. Already got back within 1. Trying to keep it this way to the 9th inning with the heart of the lineup coming. Ball and a strike.
And really, for the Tar Heels here, you really want to get that insurance run. 2 outs. You're able to hit something here in the gap. Let Gallaher run.
Down. Day 1 of this entire Chapel Hill Regional has been tightly played. Really good baseball from all 4 teams. Jack Van Doren deals. In the air, center field, well struck. Jake Peppersick makes the catch. Inning over. Last licks for LIU. Down a run to the 9th inning. 2, 3, and 4 on the way. Here we go. 9th inning in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. As Time running out on LIU in the regional opener. 2, 3, and 4. Ben Ferenzi takes ball 1 from Dalton Pence. Fly out, hit by pitch. A couple of ground balls from Ferenzi. Pence dots a heater. 90 miles an hour on that one from Dalton Pence. Ferenzi, the Australian-born shortstop. 2-1. Ferenzi came up huge in the title game against Sacred Heart, going 4 for 6, drove in a couple. Coaching staff says when he gets hits, they're big hits. Lines one into center field, base hit. Almost the exact same hit he had to start their rally in the 9th inning on Sunday to get here.
Well, you talked about it. When he gets hits, they're big hits. And boy, that's a huge one. Getting that leadoff hitter on, and then you're going to your big boys, the guys that can drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Ben Ferenzi's got the rip pants. Doesn't matter. A gamer. We told you Sunday, 9th inning. It was a 5-4 deficit for LIU against Sacred Heart. Put up 7 in the top of the 9th, and like tonight, they had 2, 3, and 4 due up. And like tonight, got a line drive over second to start from Ben Ferenzi. Dan Perillo said to us that they felt when Ferenzi had that hit, the energy picked up in their dugout immediately. Now Jake Mastillo, who's walked 3 times. The record-setting home run hitter for Long Island University.
You talked about, too, how hitting was contagious, and you can see it in that inning.
Forbes will come out for a visit here to confer with his battery and infield. He's at 32 pitches.
Yep.
Feels like his game, though it is a deep bullpen. There's right-handed activity. But Pence has been really good against both lefties and righties almost equally.
No, he has been good. One of the things I look at is that fastball velocity. It's about 90 miles an hour. When he does throw 92, it's really up and elevated, almost like he's trying to overthrow.
So Matt Poston, one of their other valued arms, is going to come in. So Pence came on in the 7th, retired the first 5 he faced, gave up the home run to make it a 1-run game, and then since then, strikeout single. And Matt Poston comes on against 4-seed LIU. And remember, these comebacks have been mighty for the Sharks. Sunday, they put up that 7th spot in the top of the 9th against Sacred Heart to get here.
It's just a relentless team. They just go after you. And this is when you talk about hitting being contagious. One guy gets the hit, then the next, and all of a sudden the confidence starts to build inside of that dugout. And that's how you get that 7-run inning.
15 runs that they scored in that tournament in the 8th inning or later.
Wow.
Fought off those 3 straight elimination games.
And really what it does is it gives you confidence knowing that no matter what the deficit is from that 7th inning or later or in the 9th inning, that you can come back. And the belief is what gets you there because you've already done it before and you've done it countless times.
It is really important to win game 1 as well. Historically, in the NCAA tournament, of teams that have advanced to supers since we've had this format since '99, 93% of them won their first game. It is hard to get there by coming out of the loser's bracket.
I mean, you could just see it there. Only 7% have lost that first game and made it out. I mean, it's really important to win it because you set yourself up.
Carolina trying to get to tomorrow night against LSU, and they turn To Matt Poston, senior from Hampton, South Carolina, 6'4", 235. Second year with the Heels after transferring in from junior college. Last year, a 1.90, made a team high 31 appearances. Not the same success this year, but he has gone 4 straight scoreless outings over 6 1/3.
It's a different kind of year for ACC play because the teams have been so much better. So your numbers are going to be up, but this is still a good fastball, 92 to 94, utilizes a very good changeup behind it. And those are really the 2 pitches that he'll like to throw. He has a slider, but really it's only a fastball changeup mix.
Jake Mastillo with a home run cut against 92 to start from Poston.
These guys know 70% of the time you're going to see a fastball, so better be ready to hit.
Poston's been excellent against right-handed hitting this year. Another fastball grabs the bottom of the zone, 0-2.
Poston does get a lot of ground balls with that heater.
0-2. Mastillo fouls it off. Would love one here.
You definitely love a ground ball. Mastillo there, just a tick late.
Mastillo described as the ultimate team guy for LIU. Bounces one gently toward Gallaher. Tough play. He stumbles, but got it there in time to get Mastillo. Looked like he stumbled out of the box as well. One away.
Yeah, 2 stumbles going there. Mastillo stumbling as soon as he makes contact with that baseball. And then Gallaher, when he gets that ground ball, he stumbles. So as soon as he gets out, there goes that front foot. It's stumbling. And then look at Gallaher here as he's making this play. He's stumbling on that grass. I don't know how he made that throw. Wow. Going almost towards your backside.
Dan Perillo probably just wants to use it or lose it.
Yeah, might as well.
It doesn't hurt you at all to ask them to have another look at this. So you see a smile there from first base umpire Steve Mattingly, and they will go have a look, but this certainly appeared to be an out.
Yeah.
Should be quick.
I mean, too, you got to look at it, too, where it's a smart move at this point. Why? Because now all of a sudden Poston is just kind of waiting around and rather being in that rhythm.
Just to make sure the foot is on the bag. We think for sure still out.
But I just, it's that gamemanship, right? Hey, let's let that pitcher just kind of think about this right here. And I mean, he's out by a good amount. But you call it because why not? Might as well not have it when you go back to the hotel. And then in this point now, all of a sudden you get Poston to kind of think about what's going on, what's happening. Hey, now all of a sudden, man on second with 1 out. That guy comes in. It's a tie ball game.
Well, not an immediate confirmation yet on this challenge from Dan Perillo. Matt Poston saying, all right, let's get it moving. Call on the field is confirmed. We appreciate that from Jeff Macias being very vocal with that. Umpires are great about that. It's a changing game. They've been good about it. We appreciate it. And 1 out and 1 on. So you do get the would-be tying run up into scoring position with Ben Ferenzi. For the cleanup man, Carlton Harper. Walk, strikeout, ground out, strikeout. Strike 1 to start with the off-speed.
Boy, that's a good changeup. Especially when you're sitting up there going, they've been throwing nothing but fastballs. Let me gear up.
Harper, the 5th-year senior. Swings through it, and it's 0-2.
Poston's been in this position before. 4 saves on the year. Second most on the team behind Dalton Pence.
That is strike 3 called, and there's 2 away.
And what does he go to? The old number 1. good fastball just freezes Harper, and all of a sudden, you got J.C. Navarro, who's hit a big 3-run homer going up against Poston.
First pitch swinging, fouled back. With a pep in Poston's step. Described to us by his teammate Jason DeCaro as a bulldog. And the guy who brings levity to this pitching staff against the Bopper and Navarro. It's 0-2. And Carolina's 1 strike away. With adrenaline coursing through Matt Poston and Chapel Hill. 0-2. On the ground to third and past Gallaher. Ferenzi comes around and scores, and we are tied at 5.
Wow. What a big time hit by J.C. Navarro. His 4th RBI of the day. Big double. Goes with the changeup. And Navarro is able to just sneak it down that third base line. LIU has life.
They're going to run for J.C. Navarro with the now would-be go-ahead man in scoring position here in the top of the 9th inning. Chandler Ketchup comes on for Navarro. And they're going to intentionally walk Jack Power to put him on at first with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. And they're going to take the right on right instead. Carolina is against Jake Pippersick. The wheels in motion at the Bosch. Oh, 1 to start. Pippersick is barking at his own dugout. He's fired up with taking 93 there. Got off to a slow start. D3 transfer talking to himself in the box. Check swing, foul. How about the mind of Jake Pippersick right now? With the adrenaline maxed out on this stage on day 1 of the regionals.
Pippersick looking at that intentional base on ball, and oh boy.
Looks like someone got hit with that foul for Pippersick in the LIU dugout. Oh, man. And Perillo, the head coach, shrugging his shoulders. Looks like he might not have seen it either.
Yeah. They're going to hold up play here.
That's Jared Hughes, a right-handed pitcher for LIU. Frustrated. Understandably so. Ball and a strike on Pippersick. The 1-1. Ooh, good block by the freshman Luke Stevenson.
Boy, big time block on that fastball. Not easy to do as a catcher. That's the last pitch that you're expecting to have to block.
From Matt Poston, who was 1 strike away from a Carolina win. 2-1. Pippersick turns on it. Down the line and left. Gone! Wow! It's a Sharks stunner. Jake Pippersick known for his defense. They committed to it for that but he's delivered offense here the last 2 weekends.
Boy, he delivers huge. We told you, this LIU team, they know how to come back, and they're never out of it. What a big-time swing in a big-time moment.
How about the resiliency of LIU? Down to its final strike. Dan Perillo said to us, I know Carolina's a good team, but we feel like we belong and deserve to be here. Players told us that beating Miami the second weekend of the season was their turning point, and that they felt like that proved to them didn't matter who they were going to face this weekend in Chapel Hill, including the #4 national seed. And a veteran group, many of whom were in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, has surged in front of the Tar Heels.
Wow. 4 runs, top of the 9th inning to take an 8-5 lead.
Noah Sorensen strikes out. Dalton Pence gave up a leadoff single. Looked surprised that he was coming out of this game. Instead, Matt Poston entered, and LIU hangs 4 and is now 3 outs away from a win. Jake Pippersick was talking to himself in the batter's box and then launched a go-ahead 3-run home run for 4-seed LIU.
Wow, what a turn of events. Down to their last strike. Big hit by Navarro, bigger hit by Pipperstick.
In a 4-run 9th after they got a pinch hit home run in the 8th. And now the lead is 3, and P.J. Moritz comes on for the Sharks. Ball 1 to Vance Honeycutt. Honeycutt, Casey Cook, and Parks Harbor against the senior from the state of Washington. Top 10 in the country in appearances, now with 33. Slow roller fouled off of Honeycutt, and it's a ball and a strike. P.J. Moritz got described to us by his teammate Garrett Young as a psychopath in the best way possible.
Unorthodox too, that low 3/4 sidewinder. I mean, he just pitches a whole bunch. 40 innings he has pitched. It's a fastball slider mix from that side angle. Does have a changeup, but mostly stays with that fastball slider.
This is outside. Came in last year from junior college. Coaching staff said to us he was honestly out of shape. Wasn't good for us. Got hit around. They talked to him at the end of the year, and he came back a changed man. 2-2. Fouled off of Brian Peterson behind home plate. P.J. Moritz dropped 25 pounds. Had a real good summer on the mound. And Dan Perillo said he came back a different pitcher. It's been a ton of strikes, landing breaking balls. And you could see the change in P.J. Moritz. 2-2 to Vance Honeycutt. The foul, facing perhaps the best all-around player in the country, leading off for the Heels in the last of the 9th inning.
Well, when you looked at LIU, they had Benjamin Ferenzi. He came up big with that hit to start off that inning. Well, UNC is looking at their guy, Vance Honeycutt, to do the same.
2-2. Hits Honeycutt. Leadoff man is on for North Carolina. LIU entering today has 1 all-time win in the NCAA tournament. You got to go back to your freshman year, 1972.
Come on.
Against St. John's. Sorry, I had to. That was our statistician, John Madrick's freshman year, however, here at Carolina.
In college.
So, leadoff man on for the Heels, who flip side of that, entering today, last 30 NCAA tournaments. When leading after 8, they were 75-2. Ball 1 to Casey Cook from Moritz. Ball and a strike on Cook. He's got a bunt single, a ground out, strikeout, and a flyout. First team all ACC and the best overall hitter, Scott Forbes told us. The 1-1. 1-2 on Casey Cook. P.J. Moritz pitched just about all the time in the conference tournament last weekend, and after Saturday he said, it's just a lot of heart from me out there. I'm hanging right now, but we gotta put it all out there. Cook, a ground ball, base hit, center field. Tying run to the plate for Carolina in the 9th with nobody out. Three outs have never felt more gargantuan for the Long Island Sharks.
It's the hardest outs in baseball, those last 3. And for UNC, Parks Harbor, guy with 20 home runs this season, steps up to the plate in a big-time moment.
Action in the pen with Justin DeCastro, who we were told was probably going to start a game here, perhaps tomorrow. But LIU, with the first 2 on here in the 9th, having already burned their other best reliever in Jack Van Doren, who got them through the 7th and 8th with zeros, has DeCastro up. If you are just joining us on Squeeze Play, welcome to the Wild Chapel Hill Regional. LSU walked off Wofford earlier thanks to a guy named Monster. And now North Carolina is threatening after giving up the lead when they were 1 strike away. This one caromed away and no movement at second from Honeycutt on a pitch down.
Yeah, it's a tough read for Honeycutt just because that ball goes right behind the catcher. He really couldn't pick it up. So smart move by him. If you don't know that you're going to be there 100%, you got to just put the brakes on and let your hitter hit.
Parks Harbor has 20 home runs this year. Slider away from everyday P.J. Moritz in his 33rd outing. Now facing the Georgia transfer. Line to second. Honeycutt's back to the bag. Oh, that was close. It's second and nearly 2.
Anybody but Honeycutt is going to be out right there. Whew. That ball was stung off the bat of Parks Harbor.
Vance Honeycutt, one of the fastest players in the country, got back.
And he took that big secondary, and boy, he just beat that out.
And Perillo strolls out, the head coach, out of the LIU dugout here in the bottom of the 9th inning. DeCastro, another righty, has been up, and Moritz only 13 pitches deep. See the message relayed from Ben Ferenzi, the shortstop. We got you is the message to P.J. Moritz, and Dan Perillo's making a move. It's going to go to the sophomore Justin DeCastro, who will come on here. DeCastro pitched in relief Saturday in the conference tournament, got him 5 outs to finish that game, and then started the next day. Moritz has hit a batter, given up a single, and then a sharp line out. So he gives the ball. One of their best arms all year, with some words for the sophomore of encouragement as he takes over on the biggest stage of his young career. If you are just joining us, this is what you have missed. 9th inning has been wild. Carolina thought they had it. They were 1 strike away when J.C. Navarro pulled a run-scoring double down the line to tie it.
Big time hit, but they were not done yet. After an intentional walk to power, Pepperson, huge 3-run homer. 4-run, top of the 9th inning to take an 8-5 lead.
And so here's Justin DeCastro, who we were told very well might start for them here. Sophomore they're going to give the ball to instead of P.J. Moritz, their trusted guy all season long. They give it off to the youthful sophomore trying to get the last 2 outs.
And DeCastro has been really good for him this year. 4-2, 34 strikeouts and 43rd and 3rd. He doesn't really walk guys, which is why he's going to be up in this position. He's a fastball, changeup, slider mix. The fastball, not overpowering, averaging about 85 miles an hour.
Last outing of the regular season for Justin DeCastro. For his head coach Dan Perillo, Justin dealt 8 shutout innings against Coppin State without a walk. Was so good down the stretch. Entered the conference tournament with 19 straight innings without allowing a run. Now faces the mighty Tar Heels. Best team in the ACC in the regular season. A top 8 national seed under Scott Forbes for the first time since 2018. Lost a wild game 1 week ago Friday when they were oh so close against Chase Burns and Wake Forest. Gave up the lead here in the 9th inning tonight in the regional opener. Not done yet. 2 aboard, 1 out, and the cleanup man Anthony D'Onofrio. He's got 3 hits in this game. First pitch swinging, flared to right center field, and it drops down a base hit. Stop sign for Honeycutt, who had to wait on it, and Carolina's got him loaded. Tying run aboard, and the winning run is striding to the plate.
This ball right off the end of the bat, just falling in. You're not going to go ahead and send Honeycutt. His run really doesn't matter.
Ball 1 inside to Alberto Osuna. Yeah, you need 3. And you've got a guy who can leave earth. There's a strike dropped in with a change to Osuna, who's got 2 singles, a bloop in the first to right, pull side rocket in the 6th. Sharp line out to center his last time in the 7th. He's looked good. The 1-1. This is 2-1 on Alberto Osuna, the 5th-year senior. He slashed his strikeouts this year. He's been more patient. The 2-1. Osuna pops it up, and that will reach behind home plate off the netting. 2-2.
Got a changeup elevated up in the zone. Kind of jammed himself, trying to do a little bit too much.
Tension dripping all over this place in the 9th inning. DeCastro's 2-2 on the way. Bouncing ball left side, snared at third by Sorensen, and he won't get it. Honeycutt scores, and it's a 2-run game. Well, Noah Sorensen did a good job just to keep that in front, and Roy Williams likes what he sees.
Boy, this is a tough play for Sorensen. The way he's able to just get that ball. You see a lot of topspin, not really much he can do. The only thing I'll tell him on that play is do not throw it. Just put that one in your back pocket. But this UNC, they're not going away quietly.
Jackson Vanderbrake, who's been a starter at times over the last couple of years, one of the captains you see of this team, comes on to run for Osuna. And anxiety looms everywhere here at the Bosch. The batter is Luke Stevenson. Maybe the best freshman catcher in the entire country. 0 for 3 with a walk. Ball one away to start. Scott Forbes said to us earlier this year that he thinks next year as a sophomore, Stevenson will be a first rounder. 2-0 to him.
Stevenson, another guy who can leave this ballpark. In his last AB, he just missed one, just getting a tick underneath it to right field.
Loaded up with 1 out. DeCastro's 2-0. It's a strike. Bottom of the zone to Stevenson. This regional has been filled with everything on day one. Pesky 4-seed LIU against the number 4 overall seed. 3-1 and nowhere to put Luke Stevenson. Inside ball 4, and it's a 1-run game. Jack Power is incessantly just saying no to the home plate umpire. They don't get the call, and it's 8-7, and still only 1 out. And look who's coming up.
Well, this was a close pitch, but the problem is you got to reach for that ball just like he did. You're not going to get the call.
So, brings up Gavin Gallaher, another freshman, and all he's done the last 3 times, home run, run-scoring double, walk. Take strike 1 on a fastball from DeCastro. Blue chip recruit has announced himself loudly in his tourney debut. Launches! Left field! Toward the wall! Good night! Chaos at Carolina. It's the first walk-off grand slam for Carolina since 2010. And it could not have come on a bigger stage.
Are you kidding me? Gallaher comes through again. He's done it all game. What a huge come from behind win for UNC.
Remember the name, folks. Gavin Gallaher. Delighting these fans at the Posh. And how about this regional, which saw 2 games and 2 freshman infielders for their blue blood programs connect on walk-off home runs. Stephen Monster Milam for LSU about, what, 6 hours ago? And then Gavin Gallaher in the nightcap.
Partner, we have had a day. Gallaher stays back, and when he hit it, boy, he knew it.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. You're talking about a team that was down by 3.
In the last 2 innings alone of this game, we saw freshman for LIU with a pinch hit home run to make it a 1-run game. We saw LIU tie it when it was down to its final strike, and then go ahead by an outfielder known for his defense, who was talking to himself in the batter's box throughout a go-ahead AB. And now Gavin Gallaher has won it. He joins us. Gavin, what's this feel like, man?
I mean, there's nothing like it. This is awesome.
I mean, you're not smiling right now, and I don't know how, because I would have the biggest grin on my face. Are you kidding me, coming up in that situation? Not only that, what you did in that 4th inning, kind of getting things going. Then you had that big double to tie up the game, and then you just finished it off right here with a grand slam. Give me more. What were you thinking going up in that AB?
Well, I mean, we've been in this situation before. We had it against Wake Forest last weekend.
Oh, baby! Let's go!
That's cold. I mean, I was in the same situation last week against Wake Forest, and I've been thinking about that at bat ever since. And so I knew that going up to the plate right there, I was prepared to get the job done this time.
Last walk-off, first walk-off since when for you?
Oh, I don't even know, man. It's been a while.
What's feeling right for you right now in the box?
Right now, it was just, I felt like I saw the ball really well today. Did a good job keeping my head still. I've been working on that for a while. Just trying to slow myself down.
Gavin, describe what it's like in the dugout when you guys experience the range of emotions. In the top half of that 9th, you're 1 strike away as a group. You come back in there. What was the conversation like, top of the lineup coming for the bottom of the 9th?
We just wanted to get it to the next guy. You know, this is such a great group of guys.
Yeah!
This is such a great group of guys. We know that anybody on this team can get the job done, and when you trust the guy behind you, it's real easy to go up there and just play loose.
Now, you know you got to look forward here, and you have a team of LSU that you're going to be playing against tomorrow night. How are you able to channel this emotion and take it into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna take a shower, and then I'm gonna get focused for tomorrow, and it's just gonna be another game.
Well, we will let you shower. We will let you get warm. Gavin, congratulations. That was awesome. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Gavin Gallaher, remember the name. He said it. That was awesome.
I mean, an unbelievable swing, and he talked about it against Wake Forest. He had that chance to do the same thing and said, I'm not going to miss it this time. Frame of mind, the way he was seeing the bat, keeping that head still. What a huge swing, not only there, but the swing of emotions for this UNC ball club, going down by 3 and being able to come back and win it.
So the bracket looks like this, and you said it, Gabby, a big one is coming tomorrow night. North Carolina and LSU, 2 teams who had the resilience today of national champions. Wofford and Long Island will start things off at noon Eastern, fighting to extend their seasons. That does it from the Bosch on day 1. Keep it locked on our ESPN family of networks. This is just getting started. For Gabby Sanchez, Matt Krause, Evan Badler, and our entire excellent, hardworking crew, Mike Monaco, saying so long. UNC wins it. What just happened?